doing nothing now, or just sitting in my bed with myself and my thoughts and some music and meditations. That's gonna shift now. I'm gonna shift gear into put a bit of action into more of the do some qigong, some breath exercise, and put it in a schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna work, but at least I'm trying to do something.
You try to create a regiment. You tried not to do something. Now you're trying to schedule doing.
Create space.
The beauty about inaction, what you just did, inaction, is it always leads you to action.
Well, 2 weeks of me doing nothing and sitting still is.
What have you found? What do you mean doing nothing? Doing no thing?
Yeah, doing no thing.
But you found.
I've been going through quite a bit of memories and shit. Yeah, a lot of crying.
Yeah,
First week was really tough on crying.
Did you not find? Yeah, but that emotion, you took your time. I know you did. Take the solitude, right? Did you not find that emotional release, that self-realization and the feeling of the grief, then give you more depth afterwards? Or haven't you found the depth yet from it? You're still in that part.
Don't get I don't get that, because like we talked about the last time, when I'm invited in and the grief and that, process it, and like, thank you for coming, what do you want to show me, inviting it in, yada, then it drops out again. I can't stick with the emotion, so I never feel the release of the trauma.
Yeah, but have you reconciled it? Did you tell it there's nothing to worry about?
That's what I'm trying to do when it's coming on. And I think that's kind of, we talked a little bit about the last time, where that is kind of the severing point for where I'm heading into it, and then poof, it kind of disappears.
How much of this is self-pity?
It's been quite a lot. 15 years ago when I started finding myself, and that was a lot of pity and what's it called, the victim mentality.
Yeah. But the ripples from that, are you not, see, with the grief that you're feeling, the feeling, right? It's only the feeling of the grief, so it's a memory. It's not.
I do actually have a feeling I get that emotional truth.
Yeah, that's a contraction.
Right? Yeah, the body has a response.
Yeah, but it's still based upon a memory. It's an emotion. Emotions move.
Probably, but it's not visible to me when it's coming in. It's just, often it actually comes. We talked about this last time also with movies or films.
I get that. That can stir emotion.
It can stir it up. But where it's then coming from,
it will link to something. But then, but what it links to shouldn't be grief. This is the point. It can link to beauty. See, the choice of what it links to is the feeling, right? If you imagine the emotion is just a wobble, and then you get feelings which can attach to it. Now, what feeling we attach to it is then what we experience. So if you look at it as the emotion is struck, there's a resonance, it then hits a feeling. But if that feeling is full of grief, why? And what's it grieving about? What was lost? So you can choose to change the look of that feeling. This is the bit about you can choose to see that whole situation or what that feeling as not as grief. No, that's not grief. Let's look at the beauty of it. Or let's look at the joy of it. Let's look at the love. That doesn't matter.
New wrapping.
You can put whatever you want onto that feeling. Whoa, no, there's no grief there. And it changes the aspect of it. And then the emotion can trigger and you feel joy. It can still lead to tears.
For sure.
But it's a different type of feeling associated with that emotion that you choose.
Well, it makes sense after, 2 weeks now, not coming something specific up. I also told this like a month ago that I'm not sure it's even mine.
So why accept it is my point. Why not look at it and put a beauty to it?
Yeah, I have no...
Try it.
Yeah, I will. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, change the wrappings. Why trying to, give it place and nurture it. And where are you coming from, little fellow? And then try a new wrapping instead of doing that. Then yeah, it makes sense.
Well, you've probably had enough of the grief by now, haven't you? Really?
Sorry?
You've probably had enough of the grief by now, reliving it and not knowing why. Well,
Probably.
that grief only exists in you.
Well, some of the grief does come from that, completely letting go of all debt that I already have and what I did wrong and blah, 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 all the attachments and debts that's been made.
Okay.
Taking all those, forgive myself for not being true to who I really am. And that's been going on for a lot of lives. So the release of the forgiveness of myself is not complete yet.
What do you think you need to forgive? What do you
that
think?
I'm not living my highest truth.
What do you think there? Why do you think there's a blame?
Because it's come from me.
What did?
But it's not.
What do you mean you didn't live your highest truth? Of course you did. It was just what your truth was.
Well, let's say now then.
Now you're living your highest truth in the best way you possibly can. What do you mean you're not living your highest truth?
Well, not.
Why are you so critical of yourself?
Because I was really a dumbass in school, and I have a program from back then, or really deep.
So you still need to prove to the outside world who you are, but you don't.
You're true. You're right. And I had this this exact line in my head today. I'm like, I don't have to do anything or be anything to anybody, but I feel bad not doing anything. My ego is going, come on, let's fucking do something. Come on.
And how's that worked for you in the past, right? So
exactly. I'm trying to do the exact opposite.
Calm that down. And in the same way, look at what you're reacting. You want to do something in the outside world where you lost so much of yourself doing something, which changes the perspective and contextualizes things. Again, like I'm saying with this.
Does this make sense? As soon as you said that, I feel I'm kind of in that gray area between the physical, human society construction of reality. And in between that gray area between that and then the spiritual awakening of your body and being aligned and in coherence and harmony. And it
so
feels
let's have a look at that. Right? Perfect. That's an in-betweener, right?
Yes.
We're all in-betweener to a degree. Now, what is it that you're attached to creating here in this world, in this environment, in this frequency, knowing what it is now and is to become? See, if you look at where you're caught, you're in between what's happened, what's happening, the old and the new, but the new hasn't happened. So we're in that happening in between, right?
Yeah.
And there's the new. So the new is unknown and the old is known.
Yes.
So there's still this attachment to the old system in the old way and the old programs and the old ways of thinking.
Yes.
Now, if we're in between the two, then the old isn't where the new is. We know that.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to build in the old and who with? This idea of trying to take something through or make something now that's going to last, I'm not so sure it works. In fact, I think it's quite the opposite. I think what we should do is wait until the new and then, or actually
I think so.
Build up towards that by releasing as much of the old as possible so that the new has got a complete. So it's not a shock when there's none of it left because we'd already planned for none of it left. But in that way, that's building everything again from a good foundation or a solidity. So this grey area in between is where we're all stuck. It's how much you want to contribute to the old world in a way that's transient.
Well, and the judgment of not doing so, everybody that shifts out from that reality in society is getting ridiculed or pointed out for being the weird ones or the spiritual ones or the whatever people put on. But that's exactly my childhood wound of not being accepted. So my ego, I figure it out now, is really strong on that. It's really been.
We all have.
We
were all marginalized. We were all pushed to the corners. None of us fitted in because we couldn't.
Yeah.
So in all of our experiences, well, most went through certainly in Europe, in that sort of area, went through that experience of being absolutely marginalized and never good enough.
Yeah. You could never be good enough. That's the whole thing. And
you couldn't be.
It's a standard that's you put on something that you don't even know there's a standard for. It's like unreachable.
Unreachable.
It's ridiculous.
It's I always say that you have this perfect example in schools when you have like maybe 20 children and you're supposed each one of them have to excel in 20 different subjects. All of them have to be good at everything with a minimum amount, and that's not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. It's never going to happen. And then you end up chasing this ideal and trying to live up to something that you can never do.
Or, as some other people may well point out, and I've already pointed out before, they did exactly what they were supposed to do to attempt to dim and maintain the light of those that are creational by installing them into places that were difficult in that respect. I don't know. It's if one, then why not the other, you know? I find it all fascinating. With this criticism that you're undertaking with yourself now, I was the same, hypercritical of myself. Absolutely all my life. It's a blessing and a curse, or was a curse to live, but it's a blessing now.
It's a good fuel, but for when we were kids and getting shit done and blah, 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 but it was for a wrong end game.
Yeah, but you know, the ability to store knowledge or to see that stuff and to scan everything all the frigging time, because you have to know where all of the issues were before they happened, etc., etc. Constant red alert. Constant red alert, right?
That is actually a good kind of, it happened a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, I think, 4 days ago. I was like, I'm not doing shit. Like in my physical body, I haven't done anything the last 2 weeks, other than, you know, if something had to enter my body or leave my body, I kind of moved around.
Well, yeah, have you seen the way that we live?
Yeah, man.
And you know, you're getting closer to wanting to do that, I know. But you got to live. This is the problem with it. You've still got to survive. So all I say to anybody is get some buffer money and just see what happens now.
Yeah.
I've been saying that for quite a while.
You said that when we met the first time.
Yeah. It's like, I know, you know, it's give yourself some time. I've been saying it for a while. But really that point for you was to give yourself some time to think and reflect. And you went out and did that in your own way.
Well, I still needed to collect data so I could understand it backwards.
Fine, mate. That's what I said at the time. If you can't do this, if you can't do that, just don't say you're doing that for selfless when it's selfish, and you'll find out later why. But
I didn't have that perspective at the time to see that. I couldn't. However, which way you tried to explain that to me, it would have gone over my head. I was still, you know.
I was good with that. Yeah. As soon as you were happy, brother, when you said, "No, I'm happy. It's selfish." Sweet, my friend. Please go and enjoy yourself. And that, at least you started off then from a place of truth.
Well, I thought I did, but eventually it turned out I didn't. It was still not selfish. It was ego selfish. It was my ego's selfish story that was playing out, not my true self.
The self is selfless, bro.
Yeah.
You need to become selfish to become selfless. So it's fine. It's not like it's a fault. What you're going to become, what you are now doing on your own here is selfish.
I think I'm overcomplicating this
you are.
What the ego does.
it has to be complicated so I can understand it, so I can, seem smart. It has to be complicated, otherwise it's,
Nah, you see, the simple seems smart, but the simple's got to contain the complicated.
for sure.
There's the key, there's,
Sure.
and you'll get that in reflection.
Thank you.
Well,
I don't, like we talked about last time, I don't find value in anything right now. And there was like, we talked about it last time, you're like, oh, add value back in. And I actually tried to do that for the last couple of days. And I'm like, what is the value?
right.
Like,
Good.
and I was like,
My tea.
I don't even know.
You're going to get it?
You want a lighter?
No.
No,
Let me just grab my,
Tea.
can you just grab
Yeah.
my phone? I want
Yes.
to make sure it's in range. Please. Thank you. No, the value thing is
I
funky.
don't feel any value towards anything at the moment. I'm like, I was texting with Seth today, and he was like, how's it going? I was like, good, I think. I don't know. Like, and this value thing kind of came up again. I was like, I can't, like, what value do you get from, let me go and do this, and you pick it all apart, my brain at least is doing at the moment. Yours did when you're where I'm at. And it's picking all this apart. How do I fix it? But then you do it for a reasoning, that value that comes either out of it or it makes you feel good while you're doing it. And selfish or selfish. Both of them can be in the same, which is beautiful. But at the same time, I'm like, going, like you said, go somewhere and build somebody a house. I could go and do that right now. Did they ask you for it? Would they be grateful? Yeah, some of them surely would. Some of them would surely also complain afterwards that it's not, nice enough, or there's a crack over here, or that's there. And like, there will always be something. So what is the value? You don't actually know what the value is going to get. Oh, I'm going to build a house to somebody, not getting paid, just on my selfish whatever. And it turns out to be a shit show, because now they're coming, like, you build something on their land you can't do now, and now they put the government. It can go wrong, even though you're trying to be selfless. And the value in there is then all gone, or it's changed by somebody else, because you put somebody else entity or a person in the mix. So everything in value has to come from me.
Perfect.
But I can't find the value in doing anything with people because of the things I just said. The value change when you put another spin in the mix. And I'm kind of lost in that in a moment.
Your value doesn't see. It's your value that's the most important. This is what.
But there's no value left for me. I'm not
There
even
is.
valuing food or
No,
value.
that's an external thing. Value your truth.
Yes, but I don't know what that is at the moment.
Well,
I
then that's
do.
enough.
And
Value that. Value honor. Value integrity. Value wisdom. Value morality.
but in some sense, I don't see any of that when I am
In you.
not living.
In you.
But when I can recognize that in myself.
So can you value that out there?
Yes.
Well, go and do it then. But as soon as you start to put other people in it, then how much value are you going to negotiate away? And what for? And that's where your quandary is. Because everything here is transient. And the transience of it is catching up. It's animal.
I mean, everything that you can do something with the best intention and good heart and all this, but it will come around, bite you in the ass.
Because it won't work.
But that would be because it's not coming from an alignment. It's coming from a lack.
It's not coming from creation. It's coming from the individual's idea of creation, relatively. So if
But
you look
kind
at
of
it,
see my point, right?
absolutely, bro. Absolutely,
and
I
I think
do.
for everybody that's kind of trying to live in the world and be on a spiritual journey at the same time.
Let's just put the words together. Spiritual journey. What we're doing is different.
Well, awakening. I don't know.
Awakening path is
li-
different to
liber-
what we're talking about here. This is much more philosophical consciousness,
Okay.
but it's also, for me, more important. It's metaphysics. It's more important than other paths which lead round the houses. So it's not spiritualness in this respect. It's got spiritual. You could call it. It contains the elements that would be designated spiritual. It contains a lot of that, a lot of the speak, a lot of the talk.
You know, I'm not spiritual.
That's what I
religion
mean.
or-
So I don't want to label it into that category, if you will.
I was just, yeah.
No,
What
it's just
word can we use for it then?
it's just truth, bruv. It's just fucking experience. It's wisdom. And it's your own, because you're finding it in your own experiences. You're looking back at them and you're seeing the duality in them. You can see what you were doing. You can see what it was causing, the cause and the effect. You can see you can start to map that. You can start to see, hang on, if this, then that, and then that, and then that, and that.
But then,
What?
when you see through that, then it all becomes a game,
It's a game, bruv.
and I don't want to play.
Then don't play it, my friend. What do you think we are not struggling with? Coping with beautifully. The game. Because once you see it, you don't want to play anymore. And once you stop playing it, you're rewriting your script, you see, your contract.
I feel
You've taken responsibility
pushed still towards playing.
because it wants you to play. Then you're distracted.
The
But if
ego
you-
wants me to play.
The more you can detach from that, the less that exists. The more you connect to it, the more it exists.
True.
What about that do you want to exist in?
Well, I do actually have a picture of that. It's just not possible in this current reality with money and blah 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 and all this
So what-
circumstances.
So if that's your
Yeah.
truth, which is your picture, then what can you do in this?
I've asked myself that. I haven't
Then-
figured it out yet.
And you have.
Yeah,
You're just looking for a different answer.
probably. Yes.
This is the thing. We try not to admit the truth, but we try not to admit what's in front of us because we hope that there's a different answer. But realistically, is there? When you honor your truth, what's your truth? And this simplicity makes it very difficult because you start to then open the complex.
Yes, I said that earlier. It's like fucking feeling I'm overcomplicating this shit very much.
You have to. See, in your scanning of the complex, you're going to realize complication is doubt.
What was the last word?
Complication is doubt. I don't know enough to trust.
I took myself in that earlier. Like, oh, let me read another book. Let me do another. And my ego was on it again. Let me go and no, fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. It's distraction. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and let me listen. Underneath your yappering, just
noise.
to make it fun.
Never
But
make
that
it
was
a schedule.
Yeah. Told you.
I'm trying, because I'm a bit in the dark at the moment. I know what that represents. Yes, but in order to try and add some discipline and try something else than just sitting. Okay,
I do the
you
same.
want to do some shit? Cool, I acknowledge that. But then let's do good shit. Let's do, set time for meditation, time for breath, time for workout, time for this, time for that, time for food, time for healthy sun food, not the light food, not
There you go. So
um,
now what you're doing is you're valuing your doings.
Well, I'm trying to accept that my body and mind want to do shit, but instead of setting it on a path of ego doing, then I'm trying to accommodate. Let's steer the need for doing at the moment towards more of my higher truth of
Towards that which is valuable.
I was talking to the architect, and that was kind of what started the whole thing, like 3 a.m. this morning with the architect. And I was like, give me a summary on how to align the body. like how do you keep the most healthy, aligned, harmonizing body with all that we know about fascias and so on? And I was like, you search the patent office, you look at all the, don't include anything from WHO and so on and so on. And I kind of took some stuff out of it. And I asked it, and it was quite interesting. And it was explaining a lot of doing, but in all designed to align the body in the best possible way.
To move in the body. This is a lot like you're talking about. What's it called now? It's not Tai Chi. It's
Qigong.
Qigong, and all of these
Yes.
movement exercises.
Flow.
Yoga people like these types of ideas. Perfect, mate. All of these things.
If it suits my need for doing something at the moment,
That's
I'm
the
like,
point.
cool.
Don't
Then
treat it necessarily with all of these. What I would look at, see, you've got a driver at the moment, which is in your mind, that you the body needs alignment, and these exercises give you that alignment. So you're looking at things that are,
let's call it my vehicle or my vessel. What the fuck was that?
yeah. Well, you don't-
And the same with my car. I change the oil, I change the filters, and I make sure it's
I know we
optimal.
make sense of it.
And
I know the mind makes sense of it. But there's also the point of going into it as an experiment rather than as a fact. And
well, I'm gonna do that because I've never structured it this way before, like
Fine.
the architect did.
Go
and
and
I was
try
like,
that
okay,
then.
cool.
a
I'm
bit
gonna
like meditation, or a bit like burning incest. No,
Incense.
incense.
well, the other thing should be
Burning
burned too.
Burn
incest.
incense forever too.
I love it. Burning incest. It's the title of some sort of romantic dark porn novel, isn't it? Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Now you know how I feel sometimes.
Incense. The different ways of doing things, right? The different ideas.
Well, it is the spiritual journey for the new age mumbo jumbo of like get the singing bowls and
all of
this
that.
and that.
I have one.
incense
Didn't
and
you buy it off
Yeah,
Michael?
blah, blah, blah,
Now
blah.
you talk about that, and I see a meme just playing out in
Yes.
my head with I'm okay. I do my affirmations. I just meditating now. I do the singing bowl. Then I do 3 steps. Now move a little bit of dancing. And it's like, do I need to do all of it?
Well, I think some have to. It's just a tool.
That's what I'm
But
saying to you about the experiment thing of it.
If we look from my own perspective right now, it feels like a vault, little money safe with a key in it, and you forgot the key and you're trying to open it.
What I'm
But
going to say to you is, it's a negotiating strategy. It's a more aligned negotiating strategy with your ego.
Say that again.
It's a more aligned negotiating strategy with your own mind or your ego.
Moral or more in line?
Aligned
More aligned.
to your higher truth.
Yes.
If you wanted to step into your higher truth, you could command it into being, couldn't you? And know it's done. But
yes,
all
but
of these
the
other
knowing
things
is my issue. I can't connect to the knowing.
it's fine.
And then-
You won't, because you've got to trust it.
There you go.
And therefore you've got to experience.
But I think some of these doings is a tool
That's what I've just said.
for.
But this is
exactly.
more aligned than
Trusting.
doing the other shit you were doing before.
For sure.
Right? So now you're negotiating and you're more aligned to your higher truth than you were before by doing these doings.
Yes.
And you're giving these doings some stories which align closer to your higher truth, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And in doing these, you'll learn through them
The next
what
thing
you
I
need to know.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. And that's exactly what we do, is negotiate higher and then do to show and prove we will. And prove we are honor with it until we learn that part, until we've overridden that part, until we're happy with that part.
Yeah.
In as much as we've done it enough to realize what it is.
But I find that my ego story is, and when I'm just not doing anything, just from the observer, the first week where I didn't do anything, didn't try and steer anything, I just let everything play out as it used to, but try to have that another perspective of
Observer, yeah.
it. And my thoughts and my ego have never left the matrix, the steering of the programming of the doing in the with people, and why we do things, and honor and integrity and love and all these things people put on it, but it's diluted in their game. It's not really there. It's more of saying the right things and look. Yeah, it's lacking. It's shallow, shallow. Yeah,
Shallow.
and there's no depth to it. If you just try to whisper it, it breaks apart. And
It's insecure. It's fragile. It's like walking on eggshells.
yes, and trying to be silent.
I'm wondering why. How much honor are you carrying doing that? What did you think would happen?
But when all that concludes down in my mind goes, cool, then I end up back at my mountainside. I've been talking about Escape Mountain for a long time, but that back then it was more of escape. This time it's more of a choice of, I don't want to actually interact that much with that many people, because most of the people I meet is making more waves than harmony. I'd much rather have my picture in my mind of where I wanted to actually honestly want it to be right now would be in a society with 100 homes, my little workshop, my privacy, my own forest around me, enough space between your neighbors so you get the sense of you having your own house and your own garden and your own space. However people want to do that for themselves, whatever, I'm creating mine, but I still have community around me, but I have solitude at the same time. And people like you as my neighbors to, oh man, no, I'm done. I'll just drop in and I feel you're calling me, or I need you, or like more of that kind of a society. But I also have all my foods made, my house is made. That's my eco builder mind. Everything is possible at this point in time to do that. All the technologies to go and do it, if you want to be specific about doing it in the physical reality. And that would be where I was having a nice view. I would have access to my grounding. I would have no floors. Most of my house would be in a blurred line between outside and inside.
That's just, we can wipe a lot of your slate here with the details, and
yeah,
simply put this down to a place where fear no longer exists.
But for me, that is that picture.
That's what I just said. But that's the overview. The details are what you're talking about. But the overview is a place where there's no fear.
Yes.
A place of peace.
Yes.
A place of integrity.
Yes.
Right. Well, that's not here, is it?
No. But it's not. It's nowhere at the moment.
No, it is, but it's just not here yet.
I agree upon that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about it. It is in places because it's in us.
Yeah, and kind of that's what I want to go build.
You can't build it out there.
Well, I kind of have built it inside.
Yeah, well, that's the point. That's what you need to do, and that's where your truth lies. What it looks like, see, you're trying to put detail to it, and that's fine. That's great, groovy. You know, we can put all those details to it. But what toys have you got to play with?
Are we talking spiritual or?
I'm talking energetic, bruv.
Yeah, energetic.
We can call it I'm going to call it creational as opposed to spiritual.
Yes.
Creational. What toys have we got?
Your imagination.
So how can you create detail based upon not knowing what toys you've got?
Yeah, it's all in your head.
So the details are based upon what toys we haven't got.
I don't.
In this world, we haven't got any creational toys that would represent a place with no fear.
Yeah.
Because this place is full of fear. Creational tools. bilocation, levitation, telepathy, empathy. All of these things properly aren't available here because it's a place of low trust. There's no trust here.
Yes.
But this place you're talking about contains trust, and those bring with them a whole new set of exploration, which don't use the details from here and limit what creation looks like, but expands creation into what it could be, as opposed to what we would think it could be. So these details that you're putting in, have a little look at them as how necessary are they, given the overview of what it is that you're talking about. For this to
Then
actually
they're
be,
indifferent,
they are.
because then it's just aesthetics.
This is my point.
So my aesthetics and another one's aesthetics, but the whole vision or this city or community, whatever you want to call it, is the concept or the idea with with trust and no fear.
The function of that concept can only function on a basis of trust.
Yes.
That basis of trust requires a change here, my friend. And that basis of trust requires ones to be able to empathize, as I've said, truly. Otherwise, they can't be here relatively in that place that you're talking about. Those that create dark things, or
We'll always try to squash that.
those who are devoid, would corrupt.
Yes.
Well, this place you're talking about is incorruptible.
Yes.
Right, and that's not here, is it, yet?
No.
So when we are incorruptible again, well...
But let's take you and I an example, the three of us.
Yeah.
We are incorruptible
Yeah.
in our honor. I might lack in other places, but my honor is pretty fucking good. So let's take that as a premise.
Yeah.
We build, we buy some land and we build each our homes.
You're forgetting that we're on this is a part of it. That will happen, don't get me wrong. Is it now?
That's my key. When do you know then when to go and create it in physicality?
This is my, okay. How many people do you know that you'd like to do that with?
Not 100.
So is it possible yet?
The list is very small yet.
Is it possible yet? No.
It don't need to be. Let me put it this way. I don't want to go and do this for anybody. My point is actually, all I want to do right now is buy that mountainside, buy the 50,000 acres of land some fucking where, and I'll move there on my own, and I'll invite the people I want to have neighbors there.
Which is cool.
Over time, you know somebody that meets that code for you. You invite them.
I know what you're talking about. Think about the linear transience of that, the linear time extrapolation. Over what period of time are you talking about? 5 years?
I don't know, whatever, 10 years, whatever time it takes for it.
This planet hasn't got that long.
That's the whole key.
Right, it is. So contextualize your concept. Contextualize it. Put it into a larger picture.
In the larger picture, everything right now, like, it is, like you guys just talked about, is indifferent. It doesn't matter. Because a shift is right here. We're on the edge of
But getting used to that idea means letting go of the concept that you're connected to this. And the further away you get from that concept of this and limiting anything that can be to what we've experienced, the more likely, the closer we are to getting somewhere else. The whole point of this...
Say that one more time.
The more that step away from their attachment to that world, which is devoid, the more that step away from that, the more that ceases to exist.
Yes.
Right.
But those people that step out would be the people that we're talking about. We want to build this community.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about here is that there's not enough to do that yet.
I think there is.
There isn't, because there's still a lot of that here.
But maybe...
you can't build this with that.
But isn't that what we're trying... If we go...
You're missing the point. That can't be here, brother.
Well, my ego might be creating the story, but isn't there... For them to step out would be going faster and faster, facilitating a space to go.
No,
if they don't know where to go.
No, this is my point. This is my point. You can't build something with somewhere to escape to.
Well, I'm not escaping. The people who
You're
want
escaping.
something-
The people you're talking about, the people they're not even there, my friend.
No, exactly.
But so your concept is going into places that are really tenuous inside the bigger picture of it all, just to try and say there's room for this. And I don't disagree.
Well, my ego is justifying going and doing it.
That's precisely what I mean. But it's getting really tenuous, and the storyline you're mapping for it is not contextual. It's dependent upon individuals doing certain
That's the
things.
perspective I'm lacking.
That's because it's ego. Because it's a manipulation from a lack.
My mind keep going into detail, or my ego keeps justifying the story.
So go to the function. What does it need first? Not the fucking details afterwards. What does it need to be built upon? Go to the fundamental.
But those are all what we call concepts.
Which ones? The fundamental.
Yes, the integrity, the honor, the concept of this space we're talking about.
If you want to look at the polar opposite of where your ego's taking you, you have to go to conceptual, because you've got to put context to it. Now, if you look at this, you've got to go to the principles to create that conceptual. That's all you can do, because otherwise you can't conceive. All you can look at is, well, what's it going to become, or what does it need? Now, in this space that you're going to end up at, there's no fear. What does fear need to be before it's gone? Faced. The ones that you're talking about must face their fears and not escape to a place that allows them to escape their fears.
But let's put it that way then.
It
when
needs
they
to be
face their fears,
then
they're in the same gray zone where I'm at the moment. Or
until they're not anymore. Stop extrapolating this too far. Look at the context of the planet currently and what's happening.
Yeah. I'm working way too fast on a collective. I know.
So with this, it's putting it. The ego wants to go to detail. Remember, the devil's in the detail, and that can be manipulated.
Yep.
But what's the detail talking about? And what's the likelihood of it getting there? And what does it need to happen to be there? Contextualize the details.
Yeah.
And that'll give you, but look at it from the bigger picture. Okay, that's an extrapolation. It's a mind map. That's all it is, a mind map. It's an extrapolation of something. Fine. But it's not my path. It's a path.
But, yes.
And stop them. When you're doing these, you've got to get to a place. What you've got to do is take this. Got you. Okay. You've got to have boundaries, brother, on your allowance of ego extrapolation in lack areas, and show the ego the other way. The ego, what you're talking about, the way it's manipulating you into these stories, right?
Yep.
It likes to carry on without Occam's. It likes to
without Occam's
Occam's razor, without logic. It's not.
Yes, it's just becoming a self-evolving story,
self-perpetuating story,
yes.
But it has no logic.
I'm quite good at stopping it going beyond ridiculous. Well, in my perspective.
Right. And our minds in this way, right?
Yes,
I remembered back when you were talking about this. That's why I said stop it.
Yeah.
And now I was trying to unbox what it was that I was going through. But I said stop it. So I had to bring it back to about 3 steps.
Yeah.
3 or 4 steps, but they had to contain context. Otherwise, it was just a mind. It was hundreds of these things going. No.
Fiction of imagination.
Yeah, but the other way around is it starts to see what you're doing is overriding an old programming system that comes from a place of lack and looks for illogical logic, extrapolations that have no context, yes. And as soon as they're questioned, they fall flat on their face. But and then, oh, come on, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, it just becomes stories. All of it
stopped making sense here because it lost context.
Yeah.
Now, in that way, it was that putting that principle of contextualizing, i.e., looking at the bigger picture, not the smaller one, and keep viewing that bigger picture. And all of these mind maps, went through a period of like, I just saw Tetris.
Tetris, yes.
It was a period of consolidation of where we were going to look. What I wanted to do That's right. What I wanted to do was validate. I was looking to validate my authentic
God, that's so funny.
paths.
That
The way that we're the logic path. I wanted to authenticate the logic paths or the authentic path. What's actual,
authentic path.
not what's fake. And
I haven't heard that word for a long time. First time in my awareness of it, at least, was today. I don't know, 5 hours ago when I woke up, and was authenticity.
yeah.
That's so fun. Synchronicities are amazing.
My account on Facebook or YouTube or Google is the authentic ones eternally.
Nice.
And it was a YouTube channel that I set up in 2020 with Randall Kaiser. He's the cowboy. I don't know if you know him. He's a cowboy banker. With him and another guy called William. I think it was 2020. It might have been 21. Not sure. Earlier, might have been 21. And we were talking about Banks money and all that sort of stuff in there.
Yeah.
The early one, I kept the.
But that's actually another thing.
Authentic one.
When we were talking about the ego and the mind, looking into the world today, it is beyond me that the twisting up of the world through your phone and the things they're showing you, that small keyhole of the world you're looking at, because nobody's actually gone around in the cities, or we have our small circles people actually interact in, and outside of that we don't actually know. We rely on our social media, which is corrupted. But anyway, that established, it's beyond me that the public or general public in my with everything that's on my phone and what I found so far, it's a wonder to me that nobody has that we haven't risen up against that yet, because it's so widely available, and from my perspective it's so clearly manipulated, and it's a wonder to me. I can't understand the other people inside that matrix that I'm still a part of, but it's indifferent. So much of it is indifferent to me. I don't understand how they operate that system, why it's not changed yet.
So let's look at another area of truth that is being dismissed currently. Not dismissed, but considered difficult to conceptualize philosophically at the moment anyway, if not experientially. How many have a soul? How many have empathy? How many have
you said
integrity?
that earlier. That's a good point. How many are actually having somebody home and not just...
And I don't know anymore, relative. I'd like to hope. That's my thing about this, is I'd like to hope. Well, how's that working for you, Lee?
But when you walk around here and you interact, when you go shopping and people come and go, and how many do you meet that you get a vibe of that integrity or that new world vibe, authenticity vibe, let's call it that.
There's many authentic people, I think, that are
where somebody's home.
You could call them in their hearts, but I don't know how able they would be to conceptualize integrity of, I don't know culturally how it would work with regards to how many people. I mean, 1 in 6, what does that leave? I don't know, because I don't know how many people there are on the planet, but like the numbers tell us 6 to 8 billion. So what's 1 in 6? 600 million?
If those numbers are even true.
If those numbers are true, right? And if they're not 1 in 6, it's going to be even less. So if there's not 6 billion on the planet, let's say there's 4 billion, 1 in 6, it's still, there's not, I don't can't with that. What would be 8 billion would be,
well, no, Lee.
1 point something.
That's the next thing my mind does in these conversations is all the statistics and all the numbers we base everything on is somebody is giving us those numbers. It could be fucking pure fake with a lot of the things we see,
That's fine, the
um,
fakery. But what can we rely on?
nothing.
We can. What
Only
we've
your own
experienced.
observation
Right. And what have
and
you experienced if you ask yourself truthfully? And that's where you get to a raw truth that goes past hope and says, well, you know what?
Yeah, innate knowing.
And that changes the aspect of the planet instantly. And then you can answer why the people haven't risen up. That gives you an answer then as to why the people haven't risen up.
My mind can't connect at the moment. I was on another. Can you help me in the gold? Why won't people raise up? What's the connection there?
If
There are no people.
there's very few people.
There are only programs. They don't rise. They're not in their program.
Souls.
Souls is the one that rise. And there's
Yeah.
not as many as we thought.
Maybe there isn't. So if you contextualize, maybe, right? I'm not saying for factual. I'm just saying experientially. It's we shall see.
Yeah.
But there's an opposite to this other one, which is full of hope for everyone, and there's the other one that says, hold on, why? What is it I'm hoping for here? Hoping for what? And that's a loss of self relative to the truth. You hope they're not what they are, you mean? Okay. Well, good luck with that.
At that point, we wouldn't be on hope anymore.
Well, yeah, but whilst we don't know, we hope that they're not something. Blah, blah.
Yes, when
we
it's
hope
not
that
a knowing.
We hope that they're like, we trust that they'll be like we are.
Yeah.
And I've found that people mimic that. They pretend.
Yes, I just took myself in pretending. You can do. Michael's doing the pretending stunt. Everybody's pretending something where we, cheat ourselves.
Well,
and
when you
think
don't know, you pretend.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the prison you don't know you're in.
But what I'm talking about here is
I'm
talking about here is that the inability. Pretend. What was a shit? Inability. I was talking about mimicry, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Mimicry. So it's an inability to be. But we think because they pretend quite well, it's just them. It's just we give benefit of the doubt to everything. But when pushed against it, I find it difficult for anybody to have integrity. In my old life.
That's also my struggle at the moment. It's
And-
spot on. The integrity.
I'm not going to demonize everybody. But I found that push comes to shove, they'd sell their granny, and they wouldn't
Most of
honor.
them, yeah, would.
They wouldn't
Yeah.
honor their word past a certain point.
I'm
At
going
all.
to get confirmation in that in a couple of weeks with the guy, and some kind of way I did get a confirmation today, and that money is not coming back. But we'll see if he's honoring his word. But again, like you said, there's not a lot of those around that actually knows how to do that. They would fucking sell their granny for their own ego, or for it's my circumstances, or they don't, or he don't have the money to spend it all, or whatever he's doing, whatever the case is, he's not going to give me the money because he's valuing himself over me, and not.
Well, you learned that lesson, though. Have you learned your lesson yet? Same rules apply. It's have you learned your lesson yet? The lesson here is don't give with expectation. Give it away.
Yes, and
That's the lesson. If you're going to give that, it's got to be given away.
yes, and I get that now. I looking back, I was halfway there when I did it. To be honest, I still have an expectation in it. I'm getting more and more alignment.
I'm not
with,
talking about that one. I'm talking about any future one.
Yeah,
So learn what you need from this one. There's no reason why you still can't help in different ways, assist in different ways, but
but what I was doing was not a help. That was egocentric.
Precisely. You just change the focus of why you're doing it, and that way there's no expectation on the outcome at all. The other way around,
Yes,
and you might get it back, you might not. Blah blah blah. In what I don't know, but it's that part of that lesson.
but it came from the people and the integrity. That was the whole thing.
And the lack of.
Like I said, I'm going to have confirmation in let's see what the people around us actually do when they
And
comes to honoring their own words.
well, if you see, this is the point. You
most
should
of them
know that they
can't.
won't.
Yes,
You're trusting them to have integrity when your experience tells you they haven't.
that's the trickery of ourselves.
So let them prove themselves before you
Yes.
give them integrity as your baseline.
Yeah.
I understand it's not a criticism of somebody who's untrustworthy, but that's the point.
It's
That's
just
what
where
they are.
Yeah.
And trust should see. You don't trust yourself. I didn't trust myself. So I turn it around to me.
Yeah.
I didn't trust myself,
I don't trust myself.
and you don't trust yourself yet, right? But I didn't trust myself too, and so I had to earn it. I had to deserve it. I had to deserve respect and earn respect. I had to.
Yeah.
What these people that think that they're just demand it,
Yeah,
and they're not trustworthy. What? That's an insult.
but in some sense, I get that's saddening for me in my brain already. Go all the people I ever met, and we're talking about who we
Yeah,
met.
but you didn't know that then, and
no,
nor
but
do they.
looking back, then 99.5%
My point, when you look at these
of all
things,
the people in my
right,
life have been fake.
or didn't know. Now, the problem is they're untrustworthy because you can't
because
do that
I'm
shit.
untrustworthy.
Well, you wanted to hope, mate. Don't worry about that. You didn't know any better either, and they helped you see. You also
go.
experienced everything with them.
There you go.
There's no fault, it's just what it is.
No fault.
But
I wasn't trying to put a blame somewhere. It was just observation.
So my point with that, let
Where the energy goes.
that give you the wisdom of stopping this idea of unconditional trust.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You couldn't give it to yourself. You had to give yourself unconditional love, but you're doing that by being kind to yourself. No. You've got to let judgments and let all of these things go. Well, that's your love. That's your, that sort of side of things. But unconditional trust comes from action and mind and consciousness and all of these things coming together. So these are this area of, without trust, there's no harmony.
That's the being I'm coming into. It feels that way.
Yeah, man. It's beautiful. Interior, on the inside, but you've got to earn it by walking it.
Exactly. That's the whole thing, is finding the right path to walk at the moment.
Well, let me give you this.
To do.
It'll be you that decides when it stops.
Yes.
So you've got to surrender.
I've tried that several times in the coaching with Tina. Like, you get to a certain point where you just in an instant you realize it, and you're like, she was doing this to me very early on in school. I was like, as soon as I realized my first initiate, you want to guess? What was my first initiate when I realized what I've done to myself? What was the first thing I did? I started blaming myself for why the fuck did you do that, you dumbass?
Oh, right, initially. No, I'd already cut myself to bits on all of that.
Exactly. And I was doing this 10 years ago with Tina, and she had a beautiful way of taking it away from me. But that's the programming again. I was like, I didn't even have a second to breathe and understand the knowing. I was just, as soon as I was in the knowing, I started blaming myself and started the same storyline over again. There was a beautiful trick of the mind.
No, see,
as soon as you realize, you start.
That's unfortunately CBT.
CBT?
Cognitive behavioral therapy, which repeats patterns.
Yes, that's the ego, right? The stories.
It's the way that they teach it. It's not the ego. In this repetitive patterning,
but that's unified for so many people.
It is, until you understand value. And if you were not taught that, if you're not taught that way of looking at it, and you understood this, and you could overlay the value, the honor, the morality, the way of the conscious override, the observer pattern to it, and say, no, I'm not going to experience it again like that. I'm going to look at it differently. Then you're not rolling it around and around and around. If you can take that back to the beginning and say, well, all of it until yesterday was that. It's only today that I see what I see. And then all of it becomes that was yesterday. And all of it's like, what? Why am I worried about that? It's got nothing to do with today. But that needs
I
to go.
recognize a few moments of that in the last couple of weeks where I was like in peace with, okay, yeah, everything
That's
was
what
like,
you're looking for. That's the key is in the unconditional connection, right? That bit that you're looking for, that's the key. That piece where you connect to, it's all good, man.
You neutralize, you harmonize it.
harmonize it. Yeah, that
Harmonizes
sounds better.
it.
Like it's a harmonizing of it. Yeah, that
See,
sounds better.
in a way, the way I talk about it
But
is
I felt that several times over the next couple. Sorry,
I talk about it as a reconciliation,
it feels that way with yourself,
Right.
in some sense.
so to reconcile the books is to balance the books.
Yes.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're going into the stories and you're balancing the books, which is a harmonizing,
Yeah.
but you're becoming accountable.
Yes.
You're accounting for it. You're balancing the books. You're harmonizing. You're paying the piper. Okay, so that you're going to keep doing that because you're looking for the ego. You're going to keep looking for the ego. You need to look where you're manipulable. So you're going to go through this balancing of the books.
Fun. At the moment, it feels like everywhere.
Right. And that's what you've got to take control of. Otherwise, how can you be trustworthy? Now, I know that you've got integrity. I know that you would honor your word over everything else, but you can't trust yourself with your mind.
Yeah.
All right. So
that is the whole thing, actually. I'm trying to take control over, reharmonizing, rebalancing the books. These last 2 weeks have very much been feeling like that, actually.
So in this aspect, what you've got to see is you've got to trust that you've got to go into this place of deep trust and honor your path. This goes past forgiveness, bruv. We're getting into the areas of gratitude. If you haven't forgiven your path yet, well, come on. What the fuck are you holding blame against?
Yes.
You know? And that's only guilt. I wasn't good enough. I'm not good enough. Oh, self-pity.
I still haven't forgiven everything in that book. I know.
So why do you still pity yourself? Why have you got to play?
Because I still have a story that tells me I have to find it and to fix it. And I'm looking, and that's a good way of keeping me occupied, I think. At the moment.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Find it to fix it.
That's the too much knowledge at the moment. You're making a loop. I'm just caught in another new story.
That's because, like, that's how I'm gonna say it like this. That's how you were trained.
Yes.
And that with the already natural, like, analytical, wanting to go through everything and perfectionist, like, personality.
Yeah.
That creates a little bit
not conceptualize.
more
Contextualize.
And the same very existence I always studied.
That's right.
I really get to know more, and it wasn't
contextualize, not
conceptualize.
conceptualize.
But it was like higher. I immediately like everything. I'm not gonna go through each one because it's pointless. Because it's from here to the back, we have to change everything. So you can look at it in another way, but just put it all in the same because it was
all in the same box and let it go.
So if you feel that maybe I still have some things to look at, you know what? If there's something to look at, it will pop in front of your fucking face at this time. So it's like you don't need to look for it; it will come to you.
So you've got to sit and trust. That's the thing about this. You've got to learn what trust is, and trust is.
I'm still trying to build my mind house.
Yeah. Well, okay.
For it
the space.
To collapse. Yeah, the space.
That's
actually helping me to. It's allowing me more in that little bitty tiny space I built now to allow me into just a touch of the meditation state. It kind of leads you on down the same path. I don't know if it's from theta to alpha to beta waves or whatever it happens in there, but it does feel like it's a good leading my way into touching that kind of. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Exactly. I know what you mean exactly. Whilst there, your mind, yes.
But it still collapsed way too fast for me. I'm having patience with myself and the detail programming of making details in the in the mind space is yeah, I'm practicing. But it's a very good tool, actually. I like it because it makes you take control back over your mind
Yeah.
and not just letting it
And it takes some
wander
focus.
everywhere.
It
And
takes some focus.
it makes it very clear for me. I haven't been doing that for a long time,
Well,
actually.
I don't think I would be. I'd struggle a little bit now. I think I haven't tried yet for a while. I'm in my mind at the moment looking at the purple sand on the beach, and it's. I haven't got. I would need to be calm and sat down and still to be able to get back into that place currently.
Yeah.
I can see it, but it's not real. It was then.
Yeah.
And much
But
more.
I can say something. Well, like two things. One is like a gossip thing, like this Brian Weiss that did all the regression thing and everything, and he was like a super psychiatrist, and then found that, of course, that was very limited, and started doing these other things. Going into theta state is just relaxing yourself, kind of thing. It's just going into relaxation, and you just drop into that brainwave. But he can openly say that he spent like more than a month every day, 6 hours or so, trying to picture an image inside of his head, because everybody like said so much, like you have to just picture this,
Visualize.
and everybody normalize it. It's like, yeah, just do it. Well, no, you have to work on it. For many people, you have to work for it. But
Quite a
another
bit.
thing, yeah, another thing that I wanted to say is like I used to take a lot of naps, and my crazy mind, funky mind, said me you're lazy in the middle of the day, just lying down. But then I just found out like, wait, no, that was the way I entered that space, those theta waves. Because you go, every time you go to sleep and you wake up, you go through it.
Yes, you go through the waves.
So the longer that you stay in bed, like in those moments, that also can serve. And before going to bed, going a little bit before to see like what happens. Just allowing yourself to just relax. All the guided meditations is just that.
Yeah.
You're guided to just breathe and just don't move a muscle, feel everything light, and then try to picture. But if you just nap, it's awesome. And I called myself lazy. I was doing so much napping.
Yeah, true. And I still have some of those stories playing out on my subconscious that I haven't quieted down yet. Those stories of,
I love my naps too much.
the guilt of doing nothing, that then my mind goes, oh, there's so many people that need help and I can do, and I could go and do. It's not like the action for me is a lot more easy. I see backwards in my life, it's been much more easy for me to do because it kept me from what I'm trying to do right now. And that's why I said the last time I was here, I remember I said I knew actually this was coming for a long time. I just never wanted to go face it.
Truth. So you're honoring your truth by not doing. So you knew it was coming, but you didn't want to face it.
Well, I created the perfect circumstances for myself here. There's nothing to do. There's nobody here. I have no friends.
The universe creates it for you when the time's right. But prior, your time wasn't right because your mind was full of doings.
Yep.
Now you're actively trying not to do things, which is great because now you can be. But then your mind's trying to tell you why you should be guilty about that.
Yeah. Programming from.
Well, why would it tell you those stories? Because it's still got memories of guilt.
Keep you playing, yeah.
No, it's because you're still guilty in your mind.
Yes.
You still got memories of guilt. Where does guilt come from?
Yes.
Guilt's the basis of hiding, disconnection. Your fears, the truth. There isn't any fear. But that beginning, that disconnect is still there and it's blah, blah, blah. So the guilt is a way of hiding that and masking it in blame, which is self-pity in this respect. You're feeling sorry for yourself and you're not sure why.
And I'm trying to find specifics instead of just put it all in one bag and know I'm done with it.
So what I was saying earlier, I think I was saying conceptualize, and what I meant was contextualize. Context, situational awareness, or perspective.
Yeah, right? We talked about the last time too, like seeing more further into the future possibilities and more certain of the outcome.
Well, giving more concept to it. See, when the ego offers you a solution, it's the only path. It's a determination, or it's a direction. Bang, that's it. This is the way. And if you give a context to it, then it's not the only way. There's another way.
Yes.
So now it becomes 50-50 at best.
But wouldn't that always be the case when you conceptualize anything?
Every time you do a doing, what are you valuing that doing against? Not doing it.
Consequences,
Cause and effect.
cause and effect.
So if you've got to value it against not doing it, otherwise you're not giving it value, are you? You're
Yes.
just giving it one-sidedness.
Well, then it wouldn't be on the table in the first place.
Well, it would be, because the ego's told you what to do, and you've agreed. Because you didn't put the other one in about not doing. You just did it, which is kind of reactive.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, now I see where you're going. Yeah. Agree.
Now, in negotiation, what happens is capitulation. Eventually, you give up. And the ego, the higher sort of concept of we've got to weigh this up, comes into, oh, no, and you forget weighing it up until it becomes an action. So in the negotiation of the ego to create the action in the beginning, or the doing, eventually it gets to a point where it's stripped conceptual as implausible and become completely dependent upon this outcome, and you agree. It now becomes actual. Right, okay. So there's been some negotiation down to that point of agreement in the mind. The storyline's played out quickly and we've gone with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's reactive. When you're looking at it, what you're looking at anyway.
Yeah.
But
that what you just said was what I felt before I came here the first time. When I then got here, now I know why I'm in Cambodia.
perfect.
What we were talking about was highly impossible in Denmark. In the life I was living, I was gonna do this journey I'm on right now would have been impossible anywhere else than right here, right now, and
Which makes it perfect.
perfect.
And everything from yesterday or from today backwards
Thank you for that.
got you here. Now, where's
True.
the guilt? Hidden in there somewhere. What the fuck for?
Yeah, I can't find it right now.
No. So if it tries to tell you, this is the thing when you contextualize it.
Yeah.
So if that guilt and that storyline tries to tell you about things that aren't of value or have little better than 50% chance of being valuable at best, then you only do what you need to do and stop doing what you want to do. So if you can weigh needs against wants,
I'm
then,
doing that very much at the moment.
which is what you need to do, right? See, if you look at basis of this, the basics, the very basics, are you not a creator, and have you not found that everything you needed, you received? You're still here, so it must be the case, right? And you've got everything you need today, right now, sat here. You don't need anything else. So everything you've ever needed, you've had.
Yep.
You could say I went out and fetched it. You could say I went out and did this, that, and the other.
People
But-
have the experience of lack.
That's not always there, but they got what they need, aren't they?
Well, we can argue as long as you're alive, you got what you need.
Precisely. So what do you trust? What you don't have or what you do have?
But all you have is your body.
No, you've always had what you need all your life.
Yes.
So you
Been
don't
alive.
worry about your body. You don't worry about different things. You're not trying to detail this. You're just looking at it as an overview.
Yes.
Can I trust that I will always have what I need?
Now I see where you're leading me. Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. It's a lot easier working on it on a conceptual perspective, because then you clear the whole bucket than trying to fix the fucking
But you've
thing
got to
in the
get through the
bucket.
complicated first.
Yes, for fuck, but yes, thank God for don't have to do complicated anymore.
Well, you do until you simplify it.
Yes, but we just did that. I just need to do that with
Now apply it.
All the time.
Apply it
Yeah,
on
back in
all
time.
the things I've been working on.
So if you look at that, if I give it different words, what I'm talking about here is inviting a higher frequency to be the observer and honor its truth. And in your actions, you're doing that with compliance to a higher frequency, a larger perspective. You've surrendered to honor and truth, which is allowing you to trust, because you had to trust something that was abstract, not something that's factual. I can see the points. No. Abstract.
Yeah.
Did you always have what you need? It's abstract. Can you trust that you did? Have you got it now? Any point did you were alive? Everything, hang on. That's abstract, right? But what it does is it puts into everything else perspective.
Yeah.
Because you always had what you needed. It was only that you didn't get what you wanted that ever caused a problem. That was all.
Yeah.
It was only chasing what you want.
It was only the stories.
Now, you may give honor to what you were chasing. Perfect. I wanted people to have integrity. I wanted. And that's what hurt me.
Yeah.
It was never what I needed. But I didn't know that I had, I didn't know, I was ignorant. So it was chasing the wants.
We don't even see the ego playing out that game.
We are it. Because we're just chasing wants. We don't know. Yeah. We don't know. That's okay.
Actually, until you stop doing like what I've done, I don't think you can get the perspective of seeing this from that.
It depends on what viewpoint you're given before you stop. This is my point with a lot of this spiritual stuff. See, when you stop doing that,
it keeps you in the same game.
But it's believed to be the right way, and it doesn't do what you're experiencing now. So, they're ready, but they're not willing to think about things differently. They want to think about them that way.
Yeah,
and that doesn't work. It's only a transient.
Yes, it's just a tool. It's not the actual.
I found that I tried all sorts of different methods, experimenting, all sorts of different all sorts I could think of, anything, because I was seeking. But I had to try all of those to be able to say, that's enough.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by you will stop. That was kind
of the feeling I had when I left the Himalaya retreat with the guru thing.
No, I mean, what I'm talking about, the feeling is fine, but what I'm talking about is the knowing.
That was the state I was in.
Yeah, but it was transient.
Yes, I didn't understand it at the moment, but I didn't have to be there anymore. And I, at the point, I was also cleaning up the expectations of others. Why would I be sitting here? Now I committed. Yes, and then there's a storyline being built that if you're quitting, then you're... No, I just realized... there's all these storylines. Are you quitting, or are you giving up, or are you realizing, or are you knowing enough now so you don't have to finish, or you came what you got there for? Whatever storyline, it's all stories, but it keeps you in the not knowing, chasing more knowledge.
It's what you're chasing. You're chasing somebody else's truth.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. It was a way better way of putting it.
And you're not chasing your own because you don't know where to look.
Yep.
And that's what I went through too.
I feel in the middle of it.
You are until you realize what to honor. See, that's
a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah.
Until you can reevaluate what's valuable. See, I didn't.
I'm in the smack middle of that, man. And I have no value to anything at the moment. I find very difficult to do anything.
But you value trust. You value honesty. You value morality. You value humanity. Yeah. You value civility.
I value concepts.
No, you value. They're not concepts. They're principles of creation.
Principles, yeah.
They're not conceptual. This isn't some fiction. You honor.
It's already there in me.
You honor harmony.
Yeah.
And resonance. You value fidelity over infidelity. You value truth over deception.
Yes.
So you have got values.
Yeah.
You've got lots of them.
Yeah.
but you can't find them here.
No.
But you can find them within. So how do you honor that here?
I don't know yet.
No, and that's what you've got to sit with, my friend. Because all you can do is honor it within. And stop thinking you're lesser. And start to trust that you're not.
That was beautiful. Thank you for that.
But that overlays, mate. Go through it. It's just a process. It's yeah, I'm not going to throw words at you.
No, that was beautiful, man. It was those. It don't need more icing.
No, but you believe it does because you don't trust it doesn't yet.
Well, like you just said, I just need to sit with it. It's a process. I haven't gone through it yet.
You're in it,
I'm
and
in
it feels like it's all over the place, like in a tumble dryer.
Completely. It feels confusing, and I was texting Seth. I think I feel lost, but isn't that always the way? What was I texting? Isn't that always the way when you haven't been there before?
We were talking about
If you've
this
never been there before,
yesterday.
you will always be feeling lost. If you're being truthfully like, where are you? I have shit no idea. Where are you going? I have shit no fucking idea.
I was saying yesterday that if someone is describing their path and they're not saying like I felt confused, it's like I won't hear it because it's bullshit. You always have this moment. It's like what?
Yeah.
And
As I said,
no idea. The more you know, the less you know.
we had this yesterday. It's much more than confusion.
Yeah.
It's chaos. It's absolute
That's
despair.
a better description of the feeling I have been having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Despair.
Despair, absolute despair.
What the fuck?
Numb.
Apathetic.
Actually, numb.
But then that grows.
Is that the same word? Numb and
Apathy is numbness.
apathy?
Yeah.
Apathy.
Apathy, very low on the frequency scale.
So,
doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah,
But-
you just get numbed. It kind of feels that way.
Because you haven't contextualized. You've made it small.
But I can connect with apathy for a long time in my inside. I've never been honest with myself about it before.
So that's what you got to connect with.
Um,
That numbness is what something's shutting you down. To feel numb, something's shutting you down. A feeling that's attached
for a
to
long
something.
time, I thought it was neutrality.
Yeah, I know. That's just not the truth, though, is it?
Well, it's definitely not the whole truth.
No.
A lot of that was storytelling. I'm a lot closer now than I was back then to.
It was in a way, if you wanted to use some reasonable words, it's neo or pseudo spiritual bypassing.
Yes,
But that
spiritual pseudo
spiritual bypassing.
Yeah.
You had a belief that you were there.
Yes.
But what does neutral mean?
Exactly. I didn't even know back then.
No.
I'm
so
not
apathy-
even sure I know now what neutral state is. Neutral state would be nowhere, nothing.
No, I would know everywhere and everything, but
Yes, and by that definition, nothing.
well,
Because
no thing and
there's only
everything. But
one
you're not.
thing,
You're not.
But it's not even a thing.
But you're not a limitation.
Exactly.
So what it sees there is it sees both sides. It's the observer of both sides, frequencies, both sides. What's
Yes.
playing out?
Call it the observer of the torus field in the middle. That's the plane, and then that's neutral.
In
where
real,
everything-
okay, you
But
could
you're
call it
looking
that.
in at it
But
from the
what-
perspective. That's the
But what I'm talking about is in the
0.0.
outside. Oh, shit, you've lost me.
yes.
I lost where I was going when you were looking at
Neutral.
Taurus. Neutral. So both sides of the story. No, you don't need to be all of that stuff in your mind, all those details that you've got. You just look at the opposite frequency. You look at the opposite, the contrary view. You ask why that? Why not that? 50-50 it. Because if there's an option, if there's another way, even if it's something that possibly isn't
But
obvious.
on this level, we're talking, there will always be another way. You can always make a 50-50.
Right. Good. Because that makes you're in the middle then, doesn't it? Which one's true?
The third one.
Well, you don't need to make a truth out of them,
We'll see.
Well, yeah, that's my point.
but you can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
So you've contextualized it. You have not made it small and not the only thing you're looking at. So in the mind as the observer, you're looking at both sides. And then you just give it probability and likelihood if you want.
Yeah.
Or you can weigh it up with
Assessment.
right. And you're talking about responsibility, bruv. You can call it assessment if you want, but you're talking about
As
responsibility.
soon as you know the truth or see the truth, you get responsibility with it.
Well, you can act responsibly then because you can see both sides.
Yes.
But if you're only seeing one side, you can't.
But that don't take away the possibility for making a mistake or like.
Absolutely, it doesn't. But
That's
that's all.
still the storyline in the Matrix game.
There's no mistake. There's just education.
Yes. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
tweaking. There's amendment. There's change. There's learning. All of these things. Remembering, if you want to call it what you will. So if you meander, so be it. But what I'm talking about is I am not. So if I am, what does it look like? If I'm not, what does it look like?
Yep.
So the I am can be anything you want it to be, or I am more, But if we're looking at that, is there a viable option there? Well, there is. What's this one represent compared to that one?
Isn't that our mind in a nutshell? You can always conceptualize another one.
Only if you're looking at what you can trust, as opposed to what you think. See, this way you've got to look at what you can trust because you can trust it within its resonant. It's not a fiction. It's not a fakery. It's fact. So you can trust the opposite paths.
But do you believe anybody is capable of making choices on that level
Yes.
on this plane?
Yes. Because that's exactly what I do. But you see, you're looking at what I'm looking at as fact, and you're creating a fiction of it. I'm looking at what is experientially playing out and not. So most people with the doings, you see, the doings are for why. This is why I can ask contrary questions, because that's not what I'm doing. Why not? Now, it's not a problem because there's a lot of things that do need to be done. But if you're not looking at the truth, if you're not looking at another side, another way of looking at it, if you're not looking at a perspective that could well just as well be valid, my perspective over here, if you want, if you had that perspective against everything else, now you can agree or not. We're talking about a fiction if we're talking about I am, but I'm talking about the perspective that we can agree to here. Just the principles. Make it nice and simple. If you held them principles up to that action and you sat in the middle or as an observer, what does it look like? Yeah, and you can see both sides. Now, if you look at those principles as a higher frequency and you see a lower frequency playing out, well, what's the higher one represent?
Yeah.
Right? It's the empathy. Then you're into an empathic response to it as opposed to a sympathetic response. So you're looking at it then from the direct opposite of it.
Yeah.
Which is more aligned to principle. This can be played again. I know it's a lot of words again, so I don't.
Yeah, I think for everybody, it's just I think the mind becomes confused with a lot of these concept thoughts and conversations. People that get lost in the complicity of we're using words that have a whole conversation in that one word, and I think the brain sometimes have difficulty understanding the depths so quickly in the conversation. People don't actually know what they're listening to because it becomes shallow. And I feel my mind sometimes, a lot of the times when we wander down this, and especially when we first met, I was like zoning out some of the times because it just became.
It was all right because what it was, you were receiving it. It was fine. You didn't need. I know what you experienced, and I know what you could understand at the time. It was evident by your responses. But what's playing out was necessary then for you to have foundation. Now, what you remember back then is only a few things, if many, at all.
Yeah.
But the experience of that,
exactly.
And
but I only have. I don't need to remember all of it. I just need to.
It was the experience you had.
Experience of it,
right? And the experience was what what led you on that path, because you learned to trust the experience of it. You learned to trust the resonance that it came with. There was something else in there that you found, you see, more akin to yourself, your own self-trust.
Yes.
It wasn't, it was, okay, this is something I need to pay attention to. That's what you learned. You learned to listen to yourself.
But I was just also trying to give a bit of concept for everybody that are listening in, that I think for a lot of people you're feeling dumb because you don't understand the whole conversation, but you don't need to, because you don't understand it yet. Like I said, some of the one word or two words that we are using to describe some of these concepts, you have to know that whole conversation and understand that whole conversation in your mind to understand what you say after that. So you're speaking in ways where the mind becomes lost in that one word and definition of it, to carry on to understand the next thing you're saying.
It gets to a point where it goes to 3 dots processing, and it's like, okay,
Buffering.
give me a,
Buffering. The
It's
mind starts
updating.
buffering.
Yeah.
it's updating, give me a minute.
But I think that happens in the conversation, where that's why people sometimes feel lost in conversation or don't ask the right questions, because they get lost or sidetracked in definition of, or the wrong definition of the words. We talked about this the last time. So many hijacked words for people. We're conceptualizing the words.
Limitations of the words.
Limitations, yeah.
Defined.
Exactly.
Over-defined.
They're over-defined into one value setting instead of a concept. And I think for a lot of people, that's what's keeping them locked as well in their lifestyle, in their doings.
You're talking beautifully, because what we all did, and what so many are lost in, is not valuing the abstract. They value the definition. The definitions,
the detail.
The definition is flawed. The abstract is where the truth is. But as you well know, brother, with the way we talk, and the information that you can absorb in the moment and see through, gets deeper and deeper and deeper the longer you go.
Yes,
the further you go.
For sure.
The same principles hold true all the way through, but you can't see them until you've gone further past the last place.
Yeah.
Right? So it's everything starts to fractal. Everything starts to become the same pattern, experienced physically the same way, differently.
But in some sense, it's difficult navigating the other life outside.
In a lot of senses, it is. In an awful lot of senses,
and it don't make a lot of sense to me to interact with it or go and.
Brother, you know, I can't. I don't.
I know you see the same.
And I've been around, you know, a lot.
But it becomes more and more evident.
4 years, 3 years of trying to sell humanity freedom didn't work. It's a pain in the ass. Then I was with all sorts of different people. I loved them, every single one of them. But yeah, the implication, what we're talking about here is something that's got a deeper thing to it. Now, I don't know what that expands to, but there's a distinction between those that can even think about these things and those that can't currently.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that either. But I do see that there's the conscious, the monkey mind reliance on stories and lack of depth, or the shallowness. See, I talked about it the other day. The depth is going to swallow the shallow very soon.
Yes.
That which lurks, the truth, which is deep, which is so beautiful, is going to swell up, and it's going to swallow the shallows.
Yeah.
And those with shallow minds and shallow thoughts are going to get swallowed by depth.
Yeah.
The depth is beautiful, but to them it's not. And to you, as you go into it, it's
understand
not.
It or see it perspective. Yeah,
they haven't experienced it within themselves yet. They haven't reconnected their own depth to understand the depth of value.
In the spiritual community, it calls, what is it, light workers, they call it. People going around and we harmonize the lights, and kind of what you guys were doing.
Some of them, yeah, there's lots out
energy points, or whatever you want to define, call it as a thing. But essentially, that was what you guys were doing.
A lot were in that area, and they were unable to. This is why I wasn't. People like Lee Stern, and what Lee said, because he was incorruptible, but they also disliked the principle to which I held heavily.
Yeah,
So
'cause
this
can't do that to themselves, see themselves to that depth yet. That's why
they weren't interested. And what I'd looked at was, do they need
that
to?
in my own life?
Well, I looked at, do they need to? Because I'm holding it, but do they need to? It's the same with Rick. I'm holding it. Does he need to? Because he didn't have that, but he had that, and that was beautiful too. You know, okay.
It was the two sides. That was the balance of it.
In that way, yes. So, but in that community, in that whole area, what I spoke about, and what I was referred to as blunt or sharp,
but that's been my experience going into some of these spiritual circles or communities. It still don't feel like my tribe, my people, or
it doesn't trust you. How can it trust itself if it doesn't trust you? You see what I mean? It's funky, isn't it? As soon as you say something it doesn't like, it turns on you. What for? There's no attack. It's just a perspective. It's something that, have you thought about this? No, it's attack. It turns on you. What? What's that about? Reactive place of some sort of.
But everything reactive comes with.
It's a reactive place, and with the why? Because it's emotionally unstable. Okay, it's not a problem. It just is.
Yeah.
All right. So, how much trust do you give it? Are you looking because it does it demand
level you trust yourself?
Does it demand trust? Does it tell you it's trustworthy?
You don't know.
Wait, in all of these things, it tells you what it is before you even get involved. It's told you what it is, and then demands it because of what it is. It demands all of these things off you because of what it is. But all of it doesn't. It tries a lot. I mean, a lot of this whole area is still limited, brother. It's not a problem, but it's still got a limitation within it that doesn't represent what you're looking at. See it for what it is. It's not a problem, and it's not a loss of them either. They're just in a plateau like you were, and I was.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's many people out there, and including, up until a few years ago.
It's just very lonely.
It's not, and I don't wish to pull, it's not putting a dark veil on things. It's saying, have a look, honestly, just have a fucking look. Look at your own experience. Look at what you can see. Have a look.
But from this body, and my experience at the moment, it's very lonely.
Lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is until it's not. See, the universe is giving you space, and you're feeling self-pity and loneliness.
Yeah, well,
Ain't you a grateful sod?
Because well, that's the things, when you're sitting still, the things popping out is the things you need to work with.
I appreciate it. So I put it into a different perspective for you.
Yeah, man. I get it. But yeah.
Where's your gratitude, bruv?
It's there, and it's there too. That's the weird part.
But we're all been there, man. It's fucking.
I think
ridiculous.
I think a lot of people are there, without even knowing. I was, but you have to know or figure out that you were there in the first place to recognize it.
To trust it, to learn to trust it.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing. We talked about this earlier, like normal or the other people nobody asked these questions to talk about this. And even the GPMS, when I got introduced into that, I was a highly spiritual people, and you guys were talking on a very new level that wasn't very normal for that time. But even in there, it couldn't hold me in there. That was all the connections and the talks in there were the values of it was still, I think, stories. I didn't see anything in it. It became one throwing rocks at somebody else when it becomes the observer state. I think it. There you go. It was just a third party observation point where you then see.
So I went.
So people have more. They wanted to do good, and it had a very light purpose, but it became very detailed in people's wounds. And one had, more. They had almost a competition of who could be more spiritual or point out who's talking.
Which is victimhood.
Exactly. That was a.
It was
nice definition of over the whole thing. It's not fair to put it over the whole thing. But
it was true, but the principles to.
I agree.
See,
I just didn't even know. For me, it was just a feeling back then.
Yeah, I get. Yeah. What I'm talking about with this same thing, what you're talking about there, was I came into this, whatever this is, 2020,
whatever 2020s,
and 2021, the end of 2020. Well, through 2020, I started to put my head out in July-ish, proper talking around about then, 2020. And before that, I'd done it on podcasts. I didn't want my face out.
Yeah.
Early 2020. So I was talking about Ascension Glossary stuff. But at that time, what I looked at was, well, I'm going to meet a whole new community that know a lot more and are something different and don't represent what the old life was. I'm leaving that behind. I'm going to go and meet a load of other people that aren't that. That changed relatively quickly. But I still had that imposter syndrome idea that there were others that were more and knew more and had more and all of these things at that time.
Yeah.
And I was therefore looking and seeking mentors and wiser ones to help, right? All of these things in this way.
Yeah.
And that had to stop.
But that was what everybody was doing in there. But it became more a self-soothing. It became the wrong output because it became pointing it out, but it became a self-soothing way for the pointing out. I don't know how.
It wasn't a place. It wasn't. People lost the plot. They weren't in the idea of what GPMS was. They were in their own idea of what they wanted to share.
Yes.
And there was a lot of this freedom of expression idea in the Love and Light community and their need to share. So there's a lot of sharing going on around perspectives that were flawed. And I spent quite a lot of time at the very beginning holding a sort of stick of principle to a lot of this and kind of gave up.
But isn't that what's happening also on just a normal one-to-one conversation where you're trying to talk concepts
every time
and I become detailed? And that happened in a group mentality there.
Yeah, but I wasn't holding the, I couldn't hold that. See, what I learned was I couldn't hold that against them. I couldn't hold a level of awareness that I have for myself against somebody who didn't have that yet. So there was a huge set of allowances in my.
Everybody's.
I went into this already holding a different light, bruv, than the way you are now. So I'd already gone. I was a little bit further along the path, a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was looking at this point. I was looking for my self-authority.
Yeah.
Now I'd already agreed to trust.
Yeah.
I'd already agreed to quite a few things. So I was about a year, 18 months, basically. I was looking for my own anger. I was looking for the other things, and then grew into a higher form or more trust over the next sort of 6 months, 2 years. So halfway through 21. There or thereabouts. But what I bought I bought in the principle, but then I could trust that I could be it, right? So I had to stand up, if you like.
Yeah.
So that was already held there, and I knew what GPMS represented from its very beginning was this new world instrument, not to be flawed or distilled or diluted by old world concepts.
Yeah.
And I wasn't carrying old world concepts into it. I was carrying the principles that I talk into it.
Yeah.
So when people were sharing that, but how can you stop it? And I
All their
found,
perspectives comes from not from that.
yes,
So it kind of.
but I was holding that in it, right? So, okay. And therefore enduring it to a degree and changing and interjecting every now and then. At the beginning, I started doing it a little bit heavier, a little bit more, but after a while, you're like, there's nobody else turning up, and it's the same people, and they're doing the same things. They're not my children. I've given them, I've spoken out, and it's everything slowed down over the last period because it wasn't developing; it was just stagnating. But you came
That
in.
was my feeling too.
You came in towards the end, not the beginning. So
yeah.
Well,
I met Michael in Denmark when he was still there. He was living with me. I think you guys have moved on. He and Dean got in a fight around Norway or whatever happened.
He came up to you.
And then he stayed in Denmark with Jens for a bit, and then he ended up with me. And then that was when I got introduced into the GPMS, and I overheard. I wasn't in the conversations. He was, in the same living room, and he was having we were having the conversations on speaker while I was doing other things.
A lot of that.
I wasn't engaged, but then that became that perspective from afar where I could see that now. Back then, I didn't understand it back then as we were talking about it now. If you asked me this way back then, I probably wouldn't even have the words to explain.
But if you hadn't been introduced to that, then it's all part of where you are today. So it's some idea of timeline, history, and all that. Connections were made, etc., and that was what was part of it. I enjoy the way it all symmetrifies itself or aligns.
I think it made a lot of ripples for a lot of people. A lot of people were helped in all these forums and conversations. A lot of people had a need for that. I've always felt it weird chatting online. It's a weird way for me to communicate. I think that's why the world is also a bit weird to me because so much is online. And I'm seeking direct.
The first video
interactions.
The first video I did, I reached out to a YouTuber, Randy, and the first YouTuber, the Cowboy, and I still got a lot of time for Randy. But reached out to him. He was doing some talks from Canada, and I was sat in my front room on my own. I'd been there for about 7-8 months. Through this sort of period, I give up on work. But this was mid 2020.
Yeah.
And he contacted me back and said, "Well, do you want to do an interview? Do you want to do a chat?" So he set it up, and I agreed to do one as long as we could agree sort of afterwards to discuss what it was and that. So I didn't want to be my face on there, but I was talking to Randall. So when I didn't know necessarily he was recording it.
What was the
on money, the fakery of the system,
the money figure,
COVID being a complete and utter lie, Nazis and Zionists, and all sorts of other things, and extra stuff.
Right at the beginning of COVID,
but
everything exploded.
He then whacked it straight up on YouTube, and I didn't have any say in it. That was my first experience of recording something and putting it up onto YouTube. It got me past my
somebody else did it for you.
Yes, my fear of it, if you will, because I wasn't. Somebody else did it, so I took it out of my hands. Now I had to sit there and go, "Fuck."
Now I have to.
Fuck. Okay.
This has been an occurring thing for me too. I recognized this before of this online world, backing it up. Like I have to have the integrity behind it.
Yeah.
When somebody else attacks your point of views or whatever, and that's the interaction I don't want from the online thing, because I think these conversations that's online are lacking. In a forum when you're on video and you can see the communications, for me online is so shallow, for using that word again, and sitting on a podcast with just one-on-one. Actually, I have a friend here that asked me to do this, and it hasn't happened yet. But and he's just an amateur. He's nobody. He's only having his own little small channel with friends and families. That's only him. Hasn't millions. It's just a very small one.
Well, maybe it's a great way to start.
Brother, the best catharsis is speaking through it, going into it, speak it out. It allows you to revisit, and
I think some of the reason why it's difficult for
Speak
me
to it all.
stand on my honor the truth I said that's now out there, but the problem is it's changing. It's an unfair game because the people who are sitting at it can pick it apart from a right now alignment, and you're sitting in a podcast
It's not
saying
for them.
something, and then they're
It's not
picking it apart. Now you
it's
get all
not
this
for them.
feedback and all this drama online.
It's not for them.
No, but it becomes
No. Well, why give me a buck?
well,
You
for-
ain't doing it for the people.
No, but I still haven't had let go of the judgment clearly. I still have,
Think about it like this: you're negotiating now between it's for you and it's for them, and you're judging yourself.
well, you already done it for me. The sharing of these conversations in the group. I didn't know you actually shared one already. Michael told me that I heard the conversation with you and Lee
Oh, it's in my group, bro.
and yeah, exactly. And
But I wouldn't.
I
There's nothing. There's nothing in these to hide.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if I did an online thing, first of all, that you have to honor what you're saying and then
Then it's a perfect
I
place
don't
to
wanna
start
be-
doing that, isn't it?
I don't want to defend it to everybody.
Why do you
that
need?
has a different
Why do you
opinion.
think you need to defend it?
Isn't that you don't have to interact with it.
Can you act
I
upon?
guess,
See, you'd
but-
never act upon your truth if you worried about defending it, would you?
But
How-
that's my point.
How
That's
do you
my point.
know?
It changes. So when you have the podcast, the video, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's where you are. Then all afterwards, let's say 3 months later, or
Can you trust
Fine.
yourself in the moment or not?
well, at the moment, not. Otherwise, I would have.
Well, why not?
Probably,
Because you haven't done it.
yeah.
You're feared of what might happen. Why don't you try it and see whether it does?
Well, I kind of already did. Nothing happened in your group of sharing some of these conversations where we have been talking. Nobody's said or done anything.
They'll love you for it, bruv.
I love it that for a lot of time, a lot of the audios when we were apart, a lot of the audios that we were sending was like, okay, everything changed, kind of thing. And I did like a podcast, like I don't know, like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other day I was like thinking, okay, what do I think of what I was saying? But it's like, no, but it was absolutely what I was thinking in the moment from the heart. And I always was saying like this is all being in revision, but apparently now I was like sharing what I was discovering. So it was true at that time. It's still
Yeah.
true. I'm not embarrassed, though I was maybe still
Yeah,
talking about quantum physics and things that now I'm past.
yeah. Or-
Now if I do something else now, I'm gonna start saying, hey, everything changed again.
Knowledge change.
And now
all the
this is
time.
happening.
Remember when
all
new
the time.
information, filter it through every system.
But I think I'm just scared. My programming scared of all the evil on the internet and the shitstorms people give each other and all
That's
the
your own-
drama.
1 in 6, you cannot be
Bro,
worried
that's your
about
own
what
fear.
programs would say.
It's not. That's your own fear self-perpetuating itself. What?
That's just a program.
I know. It is. What?
I know too.
It's irrational. It makes
It
no
is.
logical sense.
It's
No.
just to stop you from doing it.
Right.
So sometimes it's just if you do it,
Well,
then
we
you
already
see if
done
it
it.
was scary or not.
In that way, yeah, but you haven't done it with your friend, which came up, and your friend doesn't
Yes.
know, right? And it's only a
No.
few people. Why not? Where's the harm?
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
No,
so-
I'm gonna do it.
That's what I mean. Now, if
I've
it's
just been waiting on him a bit.
well, if it's come up, follow that path for a bit. Just go have a little chat about what it is that you're uncovering, without worry about others picking it apart.
Yeah.
I'm not picking you apart, brother. We're not doing that.
Well, I
Do
think
you-
it's because I don't know it yet. I don't trust it. That's why it's difficult for me to speak it, because
How will you know until you do it?
And
And-
for me, it's even wonderful if you just, the first program of the podcast, and say, how are you? Well, great, I'm here, though I had thoughts about coming or not coming, because I'm just going into just a,
well, the level where I'm at right now, I find this way too conceptualized or weird for normal conversation.
Hang on, you're not having a conversation with anybody else. You're answering the geezer's questions in your truth. You're allowing your truth to flow to his question. Stop talking about this from this concept of the evil.
Way better way of putting it in than what I had in my head.
Yes. So why are you overcomplicating? Because you don't want to trust. You'd rather stay in doubt, which keeps you inactive. But what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go and find out? And that way you can have a deal with your ego and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. No. We're going to do that. Watch. Blah, 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 blah. But you've got to do it first. So what you're doing is fearing the review. Because after you've done it, you're going to find that, what? Nothing happened. Like every other frigging time. But you don't know yet. And these things, great. If they're helping you, if these putting these out and you're not getting crucified, bruv, or become a laughing stock and a mocking, they're all mocking you and they're all criticizing
a lot of ways
you.
that comes now because it feels fake. Like even doing my video diary or recording something, it's difficult for me to get when I don't have an interaction. It's
I get it.
you know,
Absolutely,
what I
I do. You become responsible, not reactionary. So the proactive approach is difficult because why? And it's much more responsible to respond to a situation as opposed to create it.
Yeah.
And what you're creating it for. It starts to get difficult without somebody else talking. But if you've got somebody that can ask you a question, then you can respond to it, you see.
Yeah, that flows a lot better for me. I found the same with the coaching. It didn't work for me online. I need interactions. I feel people. I'm a kinetic. I feel.
Yeah, hang
the
on.
world.
Let's take this out for a second. You can do it online to a feeling. You can remember a theme of a feeling. You can do that without
Yes.
connecting to them.
Yes.
The only thing is that you remember it on your path and you don't link it to them, but you can talk about it. So you can talk about how it feels in a certain area, what that means. You can talk about certain areas without having to connect to another.
Yes.
It becomes more specific to the other when you connect, but you can also connect to yourself and
Yes.
and still play out the sequence of events or the function of that frequency and what it does and what it did to you in your path and how you use that as in your tools, or you remembered it in the path as you found it, and you can see how
I was in a pretty good flow back then when I was doing the coaching. The feeling and the intuition and the being led by my flow. I had good times back then when I was
same kind of thing, but you can self-map that. So you can go to let's say you're on a day. For me, for instance, in a day, I can have a scan around a little bit on it and sort of represent it as a system thing and feel what that looks like. Or it looks like filthy, right? It's filthy. How does it act? What does it represent? Well, it represents a loss of trust, a loss of respect, a loss of dignity, a loss of honor, a loss of light. It's very dim. What does that represent? Actions like this. What can you see? All of that happening. Okay. It doesn't need to be accurate to a particular detail.
No, and I think there's still some program left in me from school for that. When I was dyslexic in school, and I was like, "There's one right answer, and you have to like spell the word this way, and you have to be like perfect." There's still some to my core because it was so early on. I was fighting that system or didn't fit in that way, and they tried to squeeze me into the box from a very young age.
Your engineer brain will want logic
And I think
as well.
some of their wrong programming is still playing out in the background somewhere.
And it will use your architecture. See, it's where your architecture takes it down.
Yes, I'm working on that.
And that's if you know what I mean by that, what you're building.
Facing it at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. But it needs to see it to be able to release it. So your architecture, if you looked at your architecture as filters,
Knowing what I'm doing.
the architecture that your consciousness is building, the principles to which you're acting under, how you're viewing things, the revaluation.
Yeah.
Right? If you're looking at them as values, if you're looking at them as frequencies, you've got filters on them.
Yeah.
Now, the bullshit that's coming in has to go through filters to be able to get anywhere at all.
Yep.
And that's the bit that you're building up the filters. So it's bullshit filter if you want, or just virtue, harmony. And that's what this collapses against.
That's
Whereas
what everything collapses against at the moment, because it feels like I'm gotten higher enough up to that. There's no value in doing any bullshit anymore. It's all bullshit.
for you, yes.
At the moment.
Right, for you, precisely.
Yes.
And it needs to be until you learn to conceptualize or contextualize that too.
Yeah.
And that becomes
yes. We just had that. I had that realization earlier. Instead of working on a detail, trying to fix because that was what I was doing in the coaching and that schooling. I was trying to do in specifics and traumas and so on. And there's an even better way of doing the same work, but instead of doing detail work, you do conceptual work in the same
abstract.
But you fix the whole game by fixing the concepts, and it's save you all the long way around, the guru way around of sitting 30 years and waiting for that realization.
In effect, yes, right, yes, but it's done not in a way that's obscure or esoteric or manifestly difficult. What it is conceptually hard to trust. And you're weighing yourself against how much you can trust yourself. So if you think about the concept of having to weigh your own heart, how much guilt have you got? Well, you're weighing yourself against how trustworthy you are in that way.
Well, apparently not, because those two things are very much not aligning. I see myself as very trustworthy, but I have a problem with trusting myself.
So how much can you be trusted? You say very much, but if you ask, see, you can be...
towards myself, that's what the whole game. When it's with other people or entities,
you're holding them to a different set of values.
Yes, than I do myself. That's a perfect way of it's double standards. I don't trust myself to do what's best for me, but I can trust myself to be the best I can be for other people and hold my word or live up to my word and honor my
way past what could be returned.
I split that up, and that's why it's double standards.
Right. So when you're going to learn to trust yourself enough,
I'm working on it.
Then so that's the question. That's the question.
We've been working on this I've been working on this for over a month now. We talked about it
in a manner. Try not to define the word trust.
It's more of an ease. When I'm in trust, it just feels
grateful.
Yes, an ease.
Peace.
Yes, peace is probably a good word.
Right, at peace with yourself.
Calm.
Right. So why aren't you? These questions. Well, why aren't I? What am I missing? So in there, this is what you're coming into now, right? This bits of missing. What are you missing? Until you realize you're not missing anything, you think you are, and that's called feelings for you at the moment. So what you're having is feelings of missing something. So they're only feelings.
Yes.
What is it you believe you're missing? Nothing, because you haven't found it yet.
It's just stories.
Yeah, you haven't found it yet. So you can't trust you're going to find it because you haven't found it yet. Okay. How's that worked for you in the past? Yeah,
Not good.
all of this, it leads to,
Well,
okay,
it's trying to live in after a new set of rules and playing an old game.
So
so
apply those rules to the game.
yes, and that's my work at the moment.
What level can you apply them to?
Everybody talks about this in the spiritual manifest. You take control. You're the creator of your life, and
Different value sets. I'm using different value sets. You see,
you make the scripts, but it doesn't feel that way for.
I'm making different value sets. I'm not talking about manifesting something out there. I'm talking about the values within that you carry out there. So manifesting isn't anything. I'm not worried about outcome. I'm worried about intention. Why? Why are you doing that? So intention is where this is at, and that's where your truth lies. What am I intending to do here? Intention, it don't come with a fucking blatant.
That's why I stopped doing anything, because I don't know.
It shouldn't be on a flippant idea, because that's what's considered malicious altruism, not to a degree of real badness, but it's still got a negative outcome. It's pretend altruism, but it's got a malicious outcome. Every single time we try to do these things, there's a malicious outcome or a fall, because we start with what's maliciously altruistic, in a very loose way of putting it, because it can also get very dark, this malicious stuff. But we're still fooling ourselves. We've still got a concept that is limited, that we believe to be fact, and we negotiate it with the world.
All the time.
Getting a hold of that and understanding that philosophically alongside the value sets that you're holding now with regards to what you're seeing in those depths and feeling in those depths. And the more you're growing into those depths and feeling more comfortable in there, even though you're so uncomfortable now, right? The values that you're finding down there, are they valuable?
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
And so you're finding the gold, right? But it transpires that it's low, right? It's not in the shallows, it's quite deep. Gold's in there. But you can't, it's dark, you can't fucking see it.
Yeah.
But you got to stay in it until you find it.
Yeah.
So stay in it. That's what I got to do, innit?
I'm staying.
And that engineer mind says, okay, well, I'll have that then. If that's what we got to do. Can there be any other way? No. Right, sweet. We're all in. And, it takes away a lot of the grey. But in the respect of what you're doing is you're negotiating the end point. When the end point is that. Anyway.
Yeah. Overcomplicating shit.
But just trust that, and you can just have fun with the overcomplication. If you don't trust that, then the overcomplication is fearful.
I think it's just this weird spot of being in the middle of a process where you're doing old things, but you kind of know better now, and you're kind of like, what are you doing? Why? What? And everything kind of feels weird, and you don't know what you're doing half the time, and you feel more lost than when you started, and so this is that process. I've been through that several times before.
No, let me explain this one to you.
This is a very different level.
This process requires you to learn to crawl before you think you can run.
Yes.
The other ones, you started to run very quickly afterwards, as if you'd escaped something. This one requires you to humble to a place of, no, I'll honor it from a crawl, I'll learn it again.
I'm making myself crawl at the moment.
Right. But you've got to look at that as honoring that, because you need to. Otherwise, how the fuck can you trust it? When it made sense to you before, and you thought you were somewhere and you ran with it, could you trust that? Because you found later on
that was my truth.
It was transient truth.
Yeah.
But the feeling of it is untrustworthy. You know that now. The concept of it is not true. You know that now.
Yeah.
So what concept are you going to try this time? How about not fucking running? How about trying to do it properly? Wouldn't that be the exact opposite of what you were doing before?
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
That's what I'm doing.
And you can see you're doing it anyway. Now you think you've got a choice. Well, go out and see how that works for you. And all of these,
I kind of feel done going outside.
It's you've learned enough, right? The wisdom's there to say that doesn't work.
when I go around in public, it's weird.
I'm an alien.
Yeah.
So you've got to get through this discombobulation, this period of, because you've got to realize, brother, it's changing everything that you thought about what it is that's out there, but it's coming to your realization too at the same time. So the words in your mind now are becoming realities because you're connecting to your lived experience of it, your own truth and your own resonance with it, your own value sets to it, not fake ones. Right? And it's going to discombobulate. You feel all over the place, and it's like, okay,
All
yeah.
change feel that way.
Yeah. Now you can fight it by going against it, or you can just love it for what it's doing. Very difficult to, because you haven't learned yet to accept it. These limbo periods.
Getting there.
But
This
once
time, this is the first real effort and time and where I've really disconnected from everything and created that space around me to go inwards. I never, well, we could say the first time I was here with Himalaya, created the same circumstances. Now it's on a much less, guru kind of way of doing it, and we have to do this and sit this way and do this and go this way and do this much and how much.
You don't have to. You can continue doing it a different way.
I'm still doing the same kind of work, but in a different environment. I'm still on that same.
When I sat down and thought, well, where else? This is another simple one. I asked a lot of simple questions at the beginning. Very simple. Where else would you be happy? If not exactly where you are? And if you're not, why not?
Yes.
Haven't you got what you need? Very simple questions that kind of got fucked a bit later on. But they became the basics.
Even though if I ask myself all these questions, I still don't necessarily feel.
Hey, I wasn't talking about feeling happy. I was talking about why hadn't you accepted that this is what you're doing? Because this is what we're doing. It was that sort of way. It was simplifying it, giving it that. I wasn't talking about how it would feel. It was, the people use the word lonely, but I never felt more connected.
Well, that's the key. I don't feel connected. That's why I feel lonely.
Yet.
Yet. But I am, trying to build the mind map and so on.
The other option you've got is this.
It's really weird. I feel it's a lot easier when it's in community. That's why community is fucking good, because it makes everything more fluent and stay a lot more on track. When I'm doing this on my own, conceptualizing all this and holding myself to the brain still do the trick of telling, the lies. And as soon as you do working on one thing, my brain, when it don't want to play anymore, it goes, yeah, but this concept is also, then you can fuck it up all the time. The brain can tell you whatever fucking story it wants to and conceptualize everything into that it has no values, no need to do or go or do anything. It's fucking...
How will you take it? Otherwise, how do you take control of your mind? How do you show up?
That's the key. We don't.
Well, yeah, you do.
But I'm in that process.
I appreciate
taking control back.
Authority.
Talking in
authenticity.
General, people don't. We're a slave over our brain. I just realized of how much.
Yes, the fight, flight, monkey brain. Now you're seeing what the monkey brain really does.
I just realized how
fight, flight
strong that is.
It's the connection, and that's feeling straight into virtue. I've got to do this because I'm very quick. In many, many ways, very quick.
Story.
But if you don't sit there and do what you're doing, how are you going to stop that? If you don't go through it and negotiate it all and show why no,
that's the key.
How are you going to stop it?
I'm going through it. I feel like I'm sitting, wasting time, but I'm...
Well, what's going on inside of you?
Yeah, everything. Yeah,
or maybe
that's
that's
a good way.
Exactly your mind telling you.
Why do you think you need to be doing
harmonizing of all that shit?
What do you think the inner work is that you should be paying attention to?
My mind map, my soul touching.
Not emptying it and creating the space.
Listening to my
No,
heart.
bruv, you've got to be authentic in the moment. Not the bits that you're looking for out there, great. But if this is going on all the time, what's going on there? So no, this is the stuff that you should be looking at. This is the inner work. Your mind's shutting them down. It's sat down doing everything. You mapping all of your higher frequencies over those lesser thoughts is you doing everything. Is you redesigning creation, bruv. It's what you want to be doing things. You want to be sat there in meditation. These are places that you can go to give you other insights.
But most of the time, it don't feel that way.
No, they won't, because you got to fake it till you make it, Shag. Well, you want a feeling, you see. You want an outcome. You've got an expectation of what it should feel like or what it should be.
I'm trying not to.
But you have, and that's the stories, and that's why it feels like something, which is a negation, and it's a lack of trust.
That's why it's still lingering on, that I was feeling a lot closer to a moment, and it didn't came, and it kind of imploded a little bit. I had no problem with that. It was very cool. But it kind of it oozed out a little bit. It felt like, I feel like that way now. It's 2 weeks ago. All this like build up of energy, and something happened in me, and I was like, "Ooh, let's go!" And it kind of never.
It doesn't fly.
No,
it raises you with.
Yeah.
Let go of the idea and the expectation of flight.
I had an expectation without even knowing it.
Learn to crawl.
I was just in a receiving state, but I see backwards now that that was another story, not the truth. It came from another reasoning of why doing it than the truth, and then it doesn't work.
The answers
feels.
The answers come after you need them.
Yes. Yes, that is.
After you want them.
When I'm.
Now you've learned not to expect a little bit more on different levels. You can bring your context back. And what is it that you're chasing, bruv? Why aren't you good enough in the moment? Why do you need to be all of this so much more? Why can't you see the minor miracles? Why can't you see the beauty in the I say that it's the journey is important, the destination is important, not the journey. But you've got to see the beauty in the journey, my friend.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that a little bit at the moment.
Sit with that, yeah, man. But have a look. It's only about experience, and you can't do what you can't do, so it's fine. The questions I'm asking you aren't a criticism. They're for you to go, you know what, you're right, but I can't do anything about it. No, you can't. You can't, because what you're chasing isn't what you're going to get.
Well, I've been trying not to chase anything.
Yeah, but you don't know yet what you're chasing.
But I'm observing where my mind is going.
So you're going to find out what you were chasing as you realize you're not going to get it. But you've got to hold it against the light.
I have to chase it a bit before I can see that what it is I'm chasing. That before you can get a perspective, you kind of have to go a little bit.
Only if you haven't got control of your mind from the beginning.
And I don't at the moment.
So you're learning to by knocking these down and giving them principles.
Yeah.
Okay, so your foundations are going to be on knocking these down and giving them principles that hold against every single other concept, which gives you your divine status, your creational status. Because
but that is the difficulty. That's the same picture with the mind map. It crumbles before you.
I don't disagree.
All these concepts on it. And make it integrate in you that it's a knowing, and you're worked with it, and
you can trust this,
locked it in,
or you can't trust it. No, you can't do it yet. But what are you aiming towards? Now, all of your life, you are aiming towards being exactly who you are today. And at the moment, you think that you're in the middle of something because you're lacking and you don't trust yourself and you're quite guilty. But perfect. Hang on, this is just saying what
stories,
all stories, right? So but all your life and everything else has led to you to be today, and you have everything you need, yet you're feeling like that. And I don't disagree, bruv, because I was the same. Because you're confused.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense, and none of it does, and it's all unstable and all over the place.
But I feel all good actually about that for it. I feel calm about it.
It's fine. It is what it is. At least you're at peace with it, rather than trying to fight it. But you're at peace with it because you tried to fight it.
I observe my mind fight it And I had another observer state last time we spoke. You gave me another observer state where it's where I'm not a part of the ride.
Yeah. That's the weighing it up against why, if you like, or your truer self. What are you doing there, son?
Yeah. I'm trying to just been in a place of observing from that state the first kind of week or two. And then last time I was here, we talked about applying a little bit more discipline and to the mind mapping and so on. And I've been doing that. But it's the days still fucking run on me. It's like the hours where I feel productive in doing that are few.
You don't need productive.
Where I'm conscious about building in a
but don't
observer state.
The building,
I feel
that's a part for you to play with. That's playing. That's an escape from this. This is more to do with when you're sat there not doing that. What are you doing? And why aren't you doing that then?
Yes.
Right. So this is
that's
more
the fight at the moment.
That's what I mean. That bit's your escape. That's your practice. That's your experiment.
That's my practice right now.
Right. So all of the bits you're designing for your ego, all of the negotiations are your experiments to realize what the fuck I can be like that now.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But you don't know that yet.
I'm on that process.
But you can follow what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So you're doing that and you're creating that space there, but why can't you do it? Yeah, that's just a concept at the moment, okay?
Yep.
But very valuable because it's exactly what I asked. Why am I doing this? But I needed to follow it until I'd learned what am I following? What's the mind telling me I need to do and why? So I'd learned enough filters.
But that's somewhat of the key when I look back to all the things I'm doing and try to follow that. It's somewhat all over the place. I've been too much of a chameleon, being on everybody else's.
So you need to disentangle all of that.
Than my true self.
How are you going to
I see myself playing all the stories.
Yeah.
But that also concludes me to, well, yes, if these were all aspects of stories, then what is my true self? And then you're sitting up with nothing because it's been all the people I've interacted with. I feel when I go down this path and work with this on an inside level, I feel I lived a lot of lives already where even though it's only been maybe a year or half a year or 2 years of my life, I've lived this aspect of life.
Yep.
But I can extrapolate that to a whole lifetime in that space.
Yep.
And it feels that way when I go into it.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that makes me in doubt when I then come out of all that and I can see that perspective. It makes me go, okay, I did this 10,000 different times. I've been playing this game in other people's puppeteer show and trying to fit in. So who was I in all of these? And that's kind of the work I'm trying to do right now.
So don't worry about that.
Knowing who am I actually?
No.
Remember who the true Christian is.
Stop that. You're identifying you as opposed to you being
identifying. I'm trying to find the core of me.
That's the point. So give me what we just said. Who am I in all of that? So a loss of self.
Yes.
So you're trying to identify the true Christian, but that's a figment of your imagination.
Yes.
Don't identify who are you? Identify what you were doing.
I was fitting into everybody else's puppeteer show.
And what did it show you?
Because I was programmed early.
No, see your blames.
Yeah. You're asking me why this is.
No, I didn't. I wanted the truth, not blames. I wanted you to go into function, not blames, not form. Function. What were you doing it for? All of those things. What did you do them for? What did you need to do them for? What today? What value did doing all of those give you? What value? Not who was I?
Well, when I'm sitting here now, there's no value in it because it was all.
Didn't it show you what not to do? Didn't it show you how not to be manipulated? Didn't it show you how foolish naivety is?
But I did that to myself.
You needed others to show it you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to do it to yourself. Right? So don't take no blame on them. Yes, you did it to yourself. You needed them to show you.
Yeah.
Right. So perfect.
For you.
So what have you learned from it? You're talking about the fucking the shallow interactions, my friend. You're talking about shallowness with this. You need to put depth to it. You need to put the gold through this. These interactions, they shouldn't be shallow. These interactions are what you. This is where you got to look at the depth of what they meant for you, not to you. What did they show you today that you love about them? What did you learn? What was the true you?
That's what they.
Where's your
I can't realize or put
where's
together.
your gratitude for all of these versions, these aspects? Where's your thanks to them for being able today to reflect on them and hold true instead of false like they were?
Well, I think
they showed you you.
Yes.
They showed you you, but you don't know what you are is.
Yes.
You want to see this in a different light. No. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop criticizing it.
Yeah.
That was fine. It was perfect. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Stop looking at it negatively. It gave you what you need today, bruv. Who was I? No. Who am I?
See it for another version.
You don't know what you are.
No.
That's why you're scared of it. You don't know what you are. You don't know who you are. And everything's shown you that you're not that. They kept showing you.
Yeah.
Until you chose. And they're you. Showing you this.
I am scared at the moment as well.
It's
finding
fine.
me.
Perfect. Learn to trust people. What have you got to be scared of? Whatever has gone wrong in your life for you to have fear?
I don't know.
Well, where are you today? Did you get here today? Are you alive today? I'm scarred. I'm traumatized. By what?
Well, my brain is going dizzy at the moment. It's trying to fix. It tried to do too many things at the same time now.
It's overloading you a bit. But
I just the cup was full now.
Yeah. Okay, bro.
Let's do a tea or something. Yeah. let's have a small break. My brain needs a.
Oh shit! Don't do that, Lee.
That's great.
I just felt it. Oh, thank you, man. I love you, man.
I love you too, mate.
Very good, man. I need to.
It's all right.
Yeah, let me.
The whole thing about this is trust, and you are perfect as you are. Otherwise, you're going to criticize where you were today, tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm not enough. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. So yeah, once you reevaluate what it is you're doing, the peace that you get as a reward is far outweighs the fear that you represent it as now.
I think what's also happening at the moment is I'm trying to hold all of this at the same time, and
because you're impatient.
It sits me in a state kind of thing.
Impatient.
Yes. Well, I'm still quieting down and stopping, trying not doing and just being. I've never done this for so long. Even on a vacation, this level of doing nothing in my life has never been here before.
How much harm do you think it's done to you at the moment? How much do you think you've missed? How much do you think you haven't done?
What I'm doing right now, I'm thinking if it's harming myself.
No, these last couple of weeks. How much? You've taken time off a little bit. How much harm do you think that's done? Why do you feel guilty about it? How much do you value yourself?
Well, enough to do it.
Precisely. So get grateful.
Even though my stories and the programming is saying, all the blame game shit.
Mental, isn't it?
Now, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous when you see you're having one foot in the one line and then you have the other foot in the other line. You're going, come on, fucking bastard. It's like, it's so ridiculous. Why the mind can't settle in, but I think, I don't know. It's the coherence or the harmonic between the heart and the brain. I think I'm missing, and I'm trying to open that.
The way,
doing this.
The way I looked at it was
coming more in
by being meticulous about your thoughts. Because
selective about your thoughts.
meticulous. But selective you can't do anything about because they're going to come flying in, but meticulous about which ones you action any further than bullshit.
Yes. Well, I realized that doing all this, I stopped talking to myself or having this extra space or space inside to breathe in.
Yep.
So doing nothing and just being has kind of allowed me to reconnect into a new space inside myself.
Perfect.
Which is beautiful.
But it also gives you that space where you can review. See, the more you re-encode or re-encode, recalibrate the filters of your ego, of the feelings, stories, the stories around the feelings. They're only links, they're attachments to stories. That's all they are. They only exist in your mind. Nobody else has got them. You're the one that's playing them out.
Yep. And I know all this, which make them by default no matter.
But it's what they're using. It's what the mind uses against you.
That's what I'm trying to. That's my work at the moment. I'm trying to take control back over all those.
But it happens
stories.
in the abstract. Sorry, bro, I didn't. It happens in the abstract, not in what you're thinking. It happens when you're not.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to be in control of, is the authentic version, not the one that's manipulated. I can do this, I can sit in meditation and go there. Yeah, but the rest of the time you're reactive and you're still, all of this, that and the other. If I can go there, Zen. You've got to, it's like, be it. What do you mean you can go there? You are it. Why aren't you there? But do you see what I mean? It takes it from a place. So you're going into authenticity.
Yes.
Scary, isn't it?
It's fucking scary.
Scary, man.
I've never met myself in that light before. And of course, all change. I said this a long time ago, and Sina was like, "Oh man, that was beautiful said." I was like, "People don't fix anything unless it's broken." That's why people go to a coach or a therapist for a while, and then they stop asking questions, and they only do it for a month or two to fix the one problem, but they never get anywhere else or curious on, hey, what was that I did to myself? Can I do that to all of this? They never got curious, or they keep playing busy in the game.
They didn't.
And I asked a lot more deeper questions, and I'm keep working, even though it's not broken.
But break it.
It's not broken.
Break it.
Break what?
Whatever you don't want to break. Break it.
Well,
the unbreakable is unbreakable, bro. That which you're going to stand on is unbreakable. You're going to have to try to break it, though. Viking can only trust his sword once he knows at its breaking point. Otherwise, how can you trust it? It's how they used to test the sword. What's its breaking point? Apparently. And I like that. What if it doesn't?
I don't know. I haven't broken yet.
No. So test your theories until they break. Test them. Test your theories until they break. But use the conceptuals as your abstract. Give them abstract value and test the ones that you want to test and see if they hold water.
Yeah.
Weigh them and see if they hold water. And if they do, why not try it? Now, this is very internal.
Do you see, when you talk with people and you have a lot of these conversations, do you see it's a lot easier talking about it here?
It is.
And then doing it, when you go back home, it feels like weird. What was it we were talking about? And was it this I had to compile with this? And like, how do I apply it? And you're feeling like you're stumbling a bit in the dark.
Because it's chaos.
Yes. Do you recognize that with a lot of people?
If it wasn't chaos, how do you know it's not? How do you know it's not broken? How do you know it's broken? See, what you're saying is something has to be broken. Yes, chaos. Something's broken. You've got no stability. Good. Find it. Have a go at these thoughts. Have a go at some more. Have a go until it makes fucking sense. Because each one of these is the same. I'm giving you different ways of doing the same thing. But it's keep in chaos. Well, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I see. Fine. Go through the complication and learn to simplify. But what you're going to do is learn to simplify from perspective that's based upon principles, not false ones that are based upon manipulation. Perfect. Can you see what you're doing already is that?
Say that one more time.
Sorry. Hang on. I was just, my mind went sideways. That's why I just put that question at you or to you.
Yeah, mine did too. I was, my awareness was like, boop, out another thought.
Yeah, that's
while
why.
you're talking. And
It was a
you did the same thing.
Throwaway question, really. Yeah. You're doing that. There was another way of looking at it, and I was speaking about it, and it's what you're doing anyway, but it's just not quite it's just bigger picture of it.
Yeah.
But you're already doing it.
I'm working on the micro, and we're talking in the meta.
A little bit past what you can see, that's all.
Yeah.
It's expanding conception. That's all. I'm not trying to take it too far. If I did, then you wouldn't be able to agree with me. Now, you can't remember the details of what I'm talking about, but you're agreeing with the principle to which I'm talking, right? So you've already...
I recognize a lot of the things, like when you speak, I kind of, now I see in the backlight what was that, and so it makes me, help me understand what happened the last 3 or 4. That's probably why I can come here like once a week. Gives me like a good perspective of what the fuck happened this week. I felt I did nothing, and I did this, blah blah blah, and then we come here for a week and we talk about it. And then while we're talking, all these like now you get the new light of like, oh, now I see.
With the assessment.
With the assessment. Yeah, assessment. Yeah.
I like
input, and that's the difficult part of doing this on your own for a lot of people. And if I struggle with it, I'm doing it for 10 years now. It's must be very difficult for untrained people.
it depends on how your mind works, you see.
Yeah, of course, it's true, actually.
As
soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, I'm overcomplicating things with my journey in some sense, and other people wouldn't have that journey. Me and Michael were talking about it, where he was like, your path to getting here was what? When we were talking about our, histories, our memories of what we've been through, and to get here, his path and my path are very different, but we ended up the same. Speaking up the same concepts and things. And
in a different way, though, the way I explain it to others is slightly different. You see, because the logic path that you use is, it's the same, it's nuanced. It's really nuanced in different ways, because people have got abilities to see it in different paths. They create their own pictures. You create your own picture.
Yes.
I kind of with it. It's helping you to design it, but you create it. It's not my picture.
Yeah.
It's just got principles, and so each creates their own picture.
Yes.
And that's slightly nuanced in the way in the way that they can conceive of it, and the way that they follow it, the way that they built it. It's the way that they, in the beginning, the definitions are more strict, and they sort of become more blurred as you build further. So at the beginning, the way it's defined can feel slightly different to another's way of defining it. So it's got nuance in there.
Yeah, always.
But so it's the same thing, just slightly different. I shouldn't bring up it feels like a semantic, but it's not. It's got
That's why we say everybody has their own path, but we end up the same place, but everybody has to take their swings and do their things to get to.
I use the same sort of themes of words, but in a different way of building them.
All right.
So you've got on a path. I mean, I use different types of the way people represent value.
Yep. You have a beautiful way of putting it together sometimes. Yeah?
In that it changes slightly into which way you look at it. What's representative? How you paint the picture. It's nuanced, but that takes quite a while with an individual, because they've got to also understand what you're talking about. it's removing layers of belief systems or re-encoding that subconscious,
Yeah.
which, as you well know, is very shallow, and
Yes, but still strong.
and still believes itself to be absolute.
Yep. It's gotten a lot of free room for a lot of years to play and set up structure. So I think that's why people's biggest enemies are ourselves, because we've been so unaware for so long.
But it's hiding shame, and the shame truly is ignorance. And ignorance is not, you can't blame somebody for being ignorant, especially when you're talking about disconnections and frequencies and all these things that nobody knew anything about.
Most of the people talking about it don't know anything about it.
Nope.
Anyway, all these, get this chorus and get this jazz, and I was chasing that for a long time. Now it all seems more like,
Needed, though, for you to get past it, because otherwise you wouldn't know what it was.
And at the same time, it's also this like, oh, I should do a podcast, but it's the value of the virtues of why doing it. That's the key of to do anything, is you can carry the virtues and the integrity through it.
But you got to bear in mind at the moment, you're not sure where you can trust yourself.
Working on that.
So
I'm earning that at the moment.
The values you're using,
let's put it that way.
the offset you're using is still creating areas of lack that are, I can't do that just in case. I shouldn't do that just in case.
Yeah, my monkey brain and my systems are still trying to stay in control because
it's somewhere new.
Yeah.
I don't know what might happen.
Taking the control back is the same that's happening to the people on the macro. People are getting control back from in societies, and I'm trying to regain control inside myself. Countries and people or communities are trying to do the same from what's going on.
Yeah, that's collectivist. In that area, I agree. But they're all trying to do it on the outside.
Sorry?
They're all trying to do it on the outside.
Yeah, I know.
How can you do it on the outside if you haven't done it inside?
There you go. Well, they would, most of them wouldn't understand that if you told them.
Not yet. They wouldn't value it. They wouldn't value it.
It was the same with me the last time. I just knew I didn't understand, but I would come to understand. Most of these people don't even have a trust or a knowing. They don't even want to understand. Most people don't listen to understand. They listen to respond.
Yep.
And that's why most conversations are so shallow, because we're just waiting to talk about ourselves. Or our histories or our stories and what happened.
So when are you going to stop doing that? So when you're saying we, is that something you still do?
No, because I'm not interacting. I'm right.
Well, then don't think about we anymore. You used to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't anymore.
I don't.
So start to put ends of things into your knowing. I used to do that, but I don't. Why don't I? Because it's shallow. Fuck.
Yeah.
But I was shallow then. I thought that was so deep. Okay, better stop thinking that. See, the things that you're not seeing at the moment are the changes that you've already made.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've come because you've made the decisions that you didn't even see them, but they made. And no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't feel like doing this anymore. Perfect.
But in many ways, that's why it's been difficult for me to interact with anybody for a long time.
Perfect.
Because there was no value in it, because it was just storytelling.
If you needed to, you would. Do you want to? Do you want to?
I don't know at the moment.
What's how much of your how much good have your wants done for you in the past? I want to meet other people. What for?
Small, short-term gratifications.
Precisely. So that's a bit shallow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all of these, it just fits into the same sort of concept of need versus wants. If you needed to meet people, you would. Can't you trust that? But my wants. I want my wants. I should be meeting people. I'm not doing enough. I need to meet more people because then I'll be doing more. Why? What makes you think that? What about not meeting them and actually doing less and finding out it's just the same as you were before? Why don't you stop doing that? And understand that everything you need will appear. So you go into the shops, whatever it is, allow it to happen rather than pushing it away. But allow it to come to you rather than trying to find it. And in that situation, I get that you're still living in this area, so it's not, but the allowance that you're going to go to is for it to come to you, but you're not looking for it. You don't need it unless it comes to you, in which case then obviously you do. Because otherwise you want it, and your mind's thinking, well, I need more, I need to do this, I need to do that.
But in many ways, my phone is completely dead at the moment, and it's very,
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, it's just an indication of that. Nothing is coming back to me at the moment. Well, I feel, the guy with the fluff and Seth.
Yeah, you're going to get some distractions and some bits and pieces.
It's very quiet in my life at the moment,
and that's kind of uncomfortable. Well, actually, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but that's also why I feel alone. But alone is where I do my work.
Right, until you're no longer alone. Now, if you can't recognize all the inner yous and just enjoy exploration of creation within you and mapping it all out with fun and seeing how it all works with a kind of reflective harmony, with reflective architectures going on, and just enjoying what you're finding within.
Yeah,
you're looking for it without, but you're at a place now where you should be able to look within and actually see vastly different things. The more depth to it all.
Yes, for sure.
We'll keep staring into that depth.
But that also is what's complicating things and confusing.
Keep staring straight into the depth.
Yeah.
Because you're confronting your fears, bro.
That's what's also why all these stories are coming up and detailed stories are coming up, because I now have space for them to come out.
But because behind you can trust. You've got a place that you've just made.
Yeah.
You've got a space that you've created, but you're not sure yet because it's uncomfortable.
Well, it's just new because I haven't done it before.
Precisely. You're not sure yet.
Yeah.
And that's why it's uncomfortable. Right?
Yeah.
But isn't
perfectly natural in every new setup or skills or whatever we do.
Wasn't that exactly the same when you first day at school?
Yeah. 30 years ago.
Yeah, so you felt exactly the same then. And what happened? You survived it.
Yeah,
you can tell me about the shit experiences, but all of the things you thought were going to go wrong didn't. But I love it how it can be, how it just maps across everything and just makes sense. It's just learning to trust. And you find the trust, my friend, I believe, inside knowing your own patterns.
Yeah.
Know thyself.
Exactly. That is the essence of what I'm trying to do at the moment.
Yes, and before...
On the most intimate level.
Because you've got to face your fears. And where's your fears? They're in the depth. And what are you fed up of? The shallow.
Yeah.
So what are you choosing to face? The depth. And it feels uncomfortable. Okay. Okay. Oh, you fuck, what did I just sound? Okay.
Air.
No, there's a thing around that. Listen, all of this is good though, because you can see it, but you're just not sure yet.
Yeah.
All right. The only time you're going to be sure is when you can be sure. Right? Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Then you're not yet. All right.
But it's good knowing to.
But where are you going? Yeah, you're staring straight. You're not going anywhere. You're not trying to sway the path of it. You're not falling for distraction. You're going, no, what? Show me. I'm going to keep looking. So this idea of you...
Also reconditioning, it feels very much like reconditioning conditioning my go do this, go do that, go do
Everything.
all these stories of everything I'm trying to do and build and go do this and that, blah blah blah, all this value settings and stories and depths, and if you don't do this and you're bad this and blah blah, all this guilt and game, blame game, and yeah, it's just,
It's still going. Is that still going? No, I think it's done. No. No, mine seems out. I don't know how long for. Is that dead? No, maybe still it's working. It sounds like it possibly is.
it's not lighting green anymore.
Mm. No, it's mine, but it's out. Well, whilst that's still moving, it could be the phone picking it up. Let's go over there and speak a bit, bro. Quietly. Do it from there. Now they're dead. It's the phone.
Well, mine is dead, I can see.